All right, hello and welcome to Dash 28 Live. I think we've got most things sorted as well as we're going to have them sorted for today, which I think we're pretty happy with given what we specifically wanted to test.
Given what we have gone through.
Given what we've gone through and given what we've gotten to work, I think we're in fairly good shape. There's a few more things we still want to work on getting rid of, obviously, like the heads-up display stuff around the cameras and the overhead camera, and then working on getting the player volume, player mics patched in here, so we can listen to them on occasion without me having to like unplug and replug in stuff. But so far, pretty good. We are about to watch round 3 of this practice tournament. This is going to be Marcelo Rugo's Order of the Green Lady versus Julian Lesage's Undead at 2,300 points, playing a scenario called Gold Rush.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a custom scenario that I'm not sure where Mike Gill got it from, but the gist of it is you deploy loot tokens as if you were playing Pillage, and then go get them. So there are 7 tokens out there on the table. They are actually loot tokens that need to be picked up. And these guys have, as per Pillage, rolled. One of them has dropped 4 of them. The others dropped 3. They need to be 12 inches away. With me, as always, is Mark Howard.
How y'all doing? Trying to figure out how we can get rid of this display on this thing eventually, which we will figure out, I think, one way or the other.
So
bear with us otherwise.
Whiteboard. There we go. So these are, of course, Julian's Undead here. They look an awful lot like ghosts, but they're not all ghosts. We know that these are Soul Reavers. We know that this big long unit is the Revenants. We know that the smaller ones are going to be his Wraiths. And then the full-size Hordes are Whites. And this is actually Zombies. And then on the other side, we got, let's flip around this camera angle. So it's building in the way. So these are, of course, Marcelo's for the Green Lady. There's a triple Pegasus there. These are going to be his Men-at-Arms Retainers.
Yeah.
And then he, of course, has the Flying Knights and the Regenerating Knights. We can pop around.
Probably Brew's Sharpness on the One Knight unit.
Yeah.
Those classics.
Yep.
Yeah, OGL has been holding up surprisingly well in the meta right now. I actually thought that we were going to see them die off once they killed the unicorn thing, but they're still kind of hanging on, clinging to life, sadly.
Yeah, me too.
It is what it is, but not always bad.
For the GT this weekend, Order of the Green Lady is actually the most popular army. I believe it was the only one with 3 lists.
Yes, they are.
So, and Undead, there are 2 Undead players, Julian and myself. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens here, as Undead versus Order of the Green Lady is also likely to be a upper table matchup that'll happen once or twice over the course of the weekend. It'll be interesting to see how this scenario works out, because neither of these armies want to pick up loot tokens.
No.
Like, no unit on the table, except like the Zombies and the Men-at-Arms Retainers want to be carrying loot. Everybody else wants to be free to fly or surge or whatever.
So, if Marcelo can get into people without needing his Pegasus to super block for him this game, they're very easy things to just go pick up tokens and float away.
Yeah.
For Julian, I think it's going to be super difficult because almost actually just about, except maybe one, all of his units can be surged. So now, at the same time, he can drop the token, move up, surge.
The Soul Reavers are the only 2 units that he can't surge, and even those are speed 6. You kind of don't want to drop. You kind of don't want to pick up a token and bump yourself down to speed 5.
Right.
Although against Marcelo, everything is speed 8 and up anyway, so 1 speed difference probably doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, probably not much.
You're gonna need to protect yourself with Wraith troops.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how Julian defends himself from, if you right out the gate you have to defend yourself from OGL, or you get double charged and suddenly 2 of your units disintegrate on like turn 2.
Yep. And you can see here are some of the tokens they've deployed. There's 3 along this side, 1 way down here. It's 4, and then there's 1 here. We'll keep our eyes open for the others. They deploy their units. Yeah, there's 1 back here, and 1 there. Okay, so now I think we've seen all 3. So there's 3 here over on Marcelo's side, and then 1, 2, 3, and 1 all the way down at the far end on Julian's side. I don't believe they switched sides, so I'm guessing Julian deployed 4.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah, behind terrain and in easily accessible places. I don't know that picking up tokens early on is really a thing you want to do here, because there's so many of them.
I don't think either is going to do that.
No. Like, they're both maneuverable enough that getting onto them towards the end is fine. And you don't want to sacrifice your advantage by picking it up in, like, round 1 or 2.
Well, like I said, depending on how this kind of game goes, I could see Marcelo being like, okay, I'm going to try and pull the trigger like turn 2, rip half the board off, and then just kind of like block, clean up, and then grab tokens. Like, get that initial speed advantage off.
Yeah. I think it is entirely likely that we will get to like turn 5, and these guys will have thought that they were playing pillage for about 3 or 4 turns, and then realize, oh shit, we have to pick up tokens.
This is highly possible, and I've seen this a very odd amount in the past year. People are into that, where they don't really actually know what they're playing. It's weird.
Right.
Or they get so like locked up with positionings and not give up flanks and stuff like that. They like literally pick the scenario they're playing halfway through the game, which happens. I mean, it's there's a lot of pressure that can happen. What's up?
Can you move your mic a little closer? I feel like it's having trouble picking up your voice or something.
I shouldn't be muted.
Okay, no, you're not muted. Just you were kind of cutting it down a little bit, like it wasn't quite picking you up.
Should be good, hopefully.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, right. Word. I'm simultaneously trying to learn how to remove these icons from the screen, guys, so bear with me. Shit bothers me.
Interesting. The TO has just informed me that Julian is currently sitting on 37 points, Marcelo is 35. But on table 2, we have Anthony with 34. So depending on how many tokens get picked up, table 2 he's only 3 points behind Julian, he could slip past. Certainly, if this table ends in a draw or even just a small win, we could see table 2 leapfrog somebody. That's always nice. I always like seeing that in a tournament. A little bit of pressure on the top table to not only win, but win big to hold the position. Never feels good when there's a tournament, you get to round 5, and like the guy on the top is like, I know I got this one.
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to cruise through this game, play for a draw, still win, doesn't matter. That's no fun.
Yep. So, yeah, just deploying. I think we're just going to see the Revenants and some Wraiths kind of hit the forefront, just so that, because that's going to be the stuff that's going to block, basically. Really, he just wants to probably protect his Wights and his Vampires. Everything else is basically going to be expendable in terms of, he can't out-threat OGL at all.
Right.
There's just nothing happening for that.
And Marcelo's dropped so far the Pegasus and one of his men-at-arms, which is kind of what I would expect. He's got basically 5 junk drops. And he'll take those first. And yeah, Revenants and Wraith troops
Right.
Over on Julian's side, make for great junk drops as well. Looks like he's already dropped a little bit of meat. Some Soul Reavers in here, I think.
Yep.
And I think he dropped. Yeah, that's a Horde of Whites.
Yeah, and I think he's just going to block. I mean, also, depending on the unit, most units outside of maybe the 2-up hitting Knights, most of his units are going to be able to hit the Whites or the Vampires, and they can probably survive a turn of combat and then fight back. So as long as he doesn't get double charged, which is really, that's really kind of the name of the game with them overall. Like when you play OGL, it's just don't get double charged.
Yeah, like you can't stop him from hitting you with all the speed, but you can keep him from doubling up on him. That's what you need. You need that chance to hit back.
Yes, we'll see. We'll see if Julian's ready for that. I mean, he's already just putting Wraiths blatantly in front of his units, not caring about deployment, which he might, not have to, because no matter how he deploys, Marcelo can out-deploy him effectively in terms of turn 1, he can move his army around however he wants.
Yeah. Redeploying is not something an undead army does.
Yeah. It'll also be like an interesting game in general, but also Julian's been on. Good.
Yeah, just turn the camera sideways.
I'll go do that since people are stepping on things, I guess.
All right, continuing to watch deployment here. Again, Marcelo's or the Green Lady on this side, and Julian's Undead on this side. We did see, again, 4 of the loot tokens being dropped here on Julian's side. And the rest of them are, the other 3 are kind of over here on Marcelo's side. Can't get a great view from this camera angle, but we'll flip around, you'll see them. Once again, they are playing a scenario called Gold Rush, which is basically
we have a
pillage, but with loot tokens.
We have a plastic box under there that I think is the cord is also a little bit on. So if anybody's going to be kicking that while they're playing, might jack one of the cameras up. We'll see if that happens again. I told them to just watch their feet. They both looked at me like I was an alien.
Right.
So that's a plus.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we know the last one is up here. So there's where all 7 of the tokens are.
Yep. Yeah, and like I said, I don't even think the token placement really matters for this game. They both kind of opted to just kind of throw them in the middle somewhere. I think these people are just going to beat the hell out of each other, and whoever's left is going to try and grab 3 or 4 tokens and win. So it's just going to be however Marcelo wants to pull the trigger to get locked in, and then it'll be up to Julian's shenanigans with all of his surge, see if he can, figure it out.
Yeah, I don't think Julian's going to hang back. I played him at Pilgrimage, and I would consider him pretty aggressive undead player. Like he doesn't sit back and wait. He moves up.
He's not a fan of waiting. He also plays like other games, like GW games and things like that, which generally you're kind of just running at each other. So he's used to just getting in there.
Right. And triple Whites and double Soul Reavers, you can pretty much do that.
You know the plan.
You know the plan.
So what he'll have going for him that some armies really don't against OGL is that outside of the Wraiths, for the most part, and the zombies, most of his units can just start kind of tacking damage onto anything. So, I mean, if he plays it right, anything can be a chaff unit if it's where he needs to go. And he can just start tearing Knights off the table, which is, we've talked about multiple times before, when you're playing OGL, like, even if your targets aren't always ideal, just getting their units off the table, just anything.
Yeah.
Just less flanking opportunity, less blocking opportunity for a Knight unit to hit you in the flank.
Yep. Usually a pretty low drop list, but
yeah,
a lot of regen, a lot of heal.
A lot of regen, yep. So a lot of people, they go for what they consider to be ideal targets. I'm like, hey, if Knights are in cover or Forsaken are in cover, but Centaurs aren't or something like that, or a Pegasus, It's just one less unit. Just get it off the table and then deal with it later.
This is round 3 of the Atlantic City Open Friday practice tournament for young folk who can play 8 games of Kings of War in a weekend.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're commentating the game here and there.
Yeah,
we're good. It's like playing.
It's like at Vanguard when like Saturday's games are over and I'm like, all right, let's have dinner, and people are gonna go back downstairs and I'm like, all right, what are you guys gonna do? It's like, we're gonna go play more Kings of War. And I was like, but you did that all day. You did that all day.
Yeah, we wanted to know.
Why are you
though.
playing more?
What?
What's that? I don't know.
Don't worry about it.
Somebody I don't know.
Don't you guys worry about it. We were just seeing some live ghoul action. Just let it happen and unfold. All good. All good.
That is the thing about coming to these sort of big multi-game open conferences where everybody's in one room, is sometimes you do turn and look and it's like, oh, hey, I know that person. So they're playing that game now, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't see them for, 15 years and you're like, oh, you don't recognize them at first. Sometimes it happens. Yeah. Cons are fun for that, I think. Yeah. So, we're just moving right along. The funny thing about this matchup, it's like you kind of see right here, like just some blocking units and just throw your whites and everything else down, because it's just literally move once and then see if OGL wants to charge you. OGL, he's going to have a little bit of placement of where he wants his units with certain items. But for the most part, same thing. He knows he's going to have to just kind of run into it, and they're just going to have to see what happens once that first combat starts happening.
Yeah, and so usually for something like this, if you were playing Pillage, you would deploy with the 4 tokens you're trying to get in mind. Julian, of course, has one that he put all the way up here, but that he's clearly got no interest in trying to go get. But since they are loot, you don't have to necessarily think about deploying to hold them over the course of the game or end on them. You just have to pick them up at some point.
Yeah. So it's just, it's one of those things. Why even put a Pegasus on it right in the beginning? Because then you can't block with it. Just they're probably going to start picking them up around turn 5. But the interesting part of this game is definitely going to be what will Julian leave open for Marcelo to hit, and will he make the mistake that loses him a main unit right out the gate on like turn 2?
Now, I do see that like Marcelo has put one of his men-at-arms regiments like right in front of that one.
Yeah.
And I think if we flip around the other way,
Marcelo having the men-at-arms specifically, Marcelo recently, in the last few months, has changed his list around to have less knights, and he started putting in some foot troop regiments. I think it's been really helping his scenario play. I will say that.
I think so, yeah.
Those guys will go grab tokens and sit.
Yeah, like that's their function. They will pick those up and back away, and that's 2 points. Then Marcelo just has to find another 2 at some point during the game, and that'll be the game for him if he can do it. And as we were saying,
now to be a little,
decided this part of the table is not for him. He simply does not want it.
Now it's going to be interesting for this specific match right here, just because I am not 100% sure which units are zombies, because they are also ghosts. Because Julian is made of, his army is fine, but it's very difficult to decipher when you're looking at it.
Yeah, you got to know the base sizes.
Yeah, a little hard from far away, but he could even have the zombies sitting back, waiting to go get the tokens after the other undead pass through it. We'll see.
I believe this is Marcelo's exemplar on a flying mount, probably.
Ooh. That's nasty.
Or is that
is a new addition that I do not believe he had last time.
No, I don't think so. That's either flying character or beast of nature. I'm not sure which. All right, they have finished deploying. I think they've stepped away from the table for just a moment to hit the restroom, get a drink, something like that, and then we will see them rolling for first turn here.
Yep. It should be excellent.
We'll find out who goes first. I feel like Julian kind of wants to go first.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm, well,
otherwise he doesn't really get out of his deployment zone until like turn 4.
There's the tried and true EOD/undead thing of I'd like to move my 5 inches once.
Yeah.
I think EOD got past it with their changes.
The scouting formation.
But for the most part, you're just kind of like, well, thank God I went first. I'm going to move all my stuff 6 inches, and that's what I get.
Yep.
But if nobody's picking up tokens...
and nobody shoots...
and they're just going to try and fight it out, maybe even go second to give yourself that last turn to do something. But even so, once again, no shooting. There's no I'm going to catch a Pegasus at the end of the game and try and do 4 wounds with shooting and make it drop its token. That's not happening.
No, but there is fly Morgoth over and try to do 4 wounds with drain life to make it drop
That's true.
Token.
That is very true. He can definitely do the 14-inch with the 6-inch drain life for a 20. Which is neat. That's a good one. That's a good one.
And you do have a good point about going second, having the ability to kill or pick up tokens at the end of the game without your opponent getting a clap back.
Yeah, or at least you'll roll out that 4-up for a turn 7. But I mean, I'd rather take that than not have the opportunity. And he's gonna out-threat you anyway. And the other thing too, it's pretty certain that he's gonna move those infantry blocks forward and grab those tokens. And then I doubt they'll move back. They're probably gonna sit to kind of threat. But they're not going to do a lot, so you don't even have to worry about that. Like, they're not going to get away.
No, they're not going to get away. And if I was Marcelo, I don't think I'd even mind if they got killed. Like, if I walk them forward and had them pick up tokens.
Yeah.
And, like...
it's just the problem, not a problem, but what makes this matchup what it is they're both combat armies.
Yeah.
You don't have anybody sitting back deciding how am I going to shoot and keep this loot token and keep these people away, and nothing like that. It's just constantly you're just going to have to hit each other in the middle and figure it out. So
yeah,
it should be interesting. Should be interesting.
Hi, Marcelo.
There's Marcelo. He's actually going to play the game and co-commentate all at once.
I can do both.
You can do both. So
yeah,
and that's Marcelo. That's the OGL player right there that you guys just saw pop behind us.
Yeah, like if Marcelo does send those Minotaur forwards and they do pick up tokens, but there's like knights on either side of them, like what's Julian gonna do? Send like the one white horde that's in range across to pop them and then pick up a token and then get destroyed by knights? Like
right. So it's just you in this specific scenario when 2 armies don't have shooting. One is woefully slow, the other one is super fast. There's just not much you can really do with your matchup. You're just it's just face punching.
And it's weird referring to an undead army that's like 3 white hordes and 3 wraith troops as slow. It's like that's about as fast as an undead army as you can get, but like it's still slow motion compared to
and a big thing that was interesting, right, is when I first started playing this with people, I was playing undead and EOD. And as my friends who had not played this game before started coming into it from War Machine and other things, they were like, oh my God, Undead are the best army in the game and Unstoppable because they have Surge. And I went, but they're shambling. And everybody went, well, who cares? Yeah. I'm like, why don't you come and play this army and move 5 fucking inches and be like, that's what I got. And that's it. Like, you can't, at the end of the game, when I'm trying to play control and score a point, I have to move 5 inches or 6 or 7 inches, and then I have to surge to do what a 100-point unit in another army can just run 12. So they caught on to that eventually as a few of them tested it out and stuff. That it's really Undead is a really just slow, purposeful army. Now you can argue the werewolves and all that other stuff, but in most iterations that I see of Undead, they lack the living creatures that do all the running. Yeah. Really, every now and then you'll see people run like Canis, 1 or 2 of those to get some speed running around. But other than that, I don't see people run the living units outside of just like vampires.
Yeah, not much. Now at Carolina Cryptid a few weeks ago, the guy that won was playing undead and did have some werewolves, but that was a progressive scoring tournament. So getting out onto stuff early was worth it.
Right. So that's
but, yeah.
that's a thing. So, and I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that those units are bad. They're great units. I actually think werewolves are very strong. They're a little pricey, so it's very nerve-wracking to use them because they can die, and they're very susceptible to shooting like anything else. So you run them up, and bad things can happen. But
And there's the token pickup.
Yep.
Like we were expecting.
And you can already see the knights have just ran right up. The infantry not even running, just moving and repositioning behind the two knight units, one on the hill, one not.
Yep.
He's just going to go get that token next turn that's to the right of them that was just circled.
And Julian basically ceded all of this territory to him.
Yeah.
He knew he was going to move up fast on that flank.
Yeah, and it's going to get very messy because he's going to be able to kind of move to the flank there. But I mean, as Mike pretty much called it crystal clear, he's going to move those two infantry blocks up and grab those two tokens. He has no reason not to.
Yeah.
So we just have to see once he locks in the fight, hopefully Julian will move forward. Hopefully he doesn't get too defensive, because then Marcelo's just going to sit there for an extra turn or two and waste time. He needs to move up, get hit, and start fighting.
Right.
And that's another one of the mistakes we've talked about previously, where people kind of lock up when they play OGL.
Right.
You have to at least move forward. You can have stuff behind all your guys to take counter charges and not get in range of charge. But like if you just sit there, they'll kind of encircle you, stay out your threat ranges, and then they'll just win on scenario and block you turn 5.
Right.
So most people, you learn that lesson. You only need to learn it once.
Yep. And like we said, Julian has good chaff in those Wraith troops. They can't cover the whole frontage of
the whites. No, they cannot.
A white horde, but they can prevent double charges.
Yeah, and that's all you really need. Now, once again, you can always get lucky with your 18 attacks. You could, hit with 14 and win with 13, and then just like roll somebody off with that. But on average, you're going to take like something like 8 wounds, something like that. You'll live.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. If he does get a single charge and gets lucky and kills a white unit with a single unit of knights, be it Forsaken or normal ones, that will be very, very horrible. It looks like he's rearing up to take the token with the Pegasus possibly as well.
I think so. Looks like he's picked it up.
And on the other side as well.
Take a look at the other side.
Yep.
Yeah.
So right now, Marcelo is rocking 3 loot tokens.
3, and we'll have
and he has a 4th for free, basically.
And then, well, he doesn't really have to do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
He can just back away slowly.
Which is funny. The last time I played Marcelo with my undead, which was, a while ago, it was like 2 years ago. Same exact type of thing. He just kind of walked up, grabbed tokens. I didn't go first. And I was just shambling up with my foot troops 5 inches. And he ran away with 3 of his units. I couldn't even stop him.
Yeah, and that's the problem with allowing this much of the table open, is that, sure, I can throw a Pegasus. Nimble. Run over there. Turn sideways, pick it up. Next turn, turn sideways again, and walk 10 back towards my own deployment zone, and you're never going to touch it.
Yeah, and like I mentioned it before in the beginning of this too, like if Marcelo doesn't need his Pegasus to run the interference, if he can play without that, they'll just grab tokens and leave, and you're fine with that. That's just is what it is.
Right. And that's kind of the situation.
It looks like that's what he has decided to instantly go with, which is fine. That's a wonderful strategy.
Yeah.
Now we just have to see. We just have to see if Julian is going to kind of like go very, very cautiously, or if he's going to move up and be like, let's just do it.
Yeah, because if you're not worried about trading pieces carefully to win the scenario, if you're just trading pieces to hold up the other guy and kill some stuff, you can be a little more cavalier about how you do it.
Oh yeah. But it's just as you guys can see right here, like 3 tokens right out the gate, a 4th token basically guaranteed. At this point, Marcelo is not the one who has to rush through this game at all.
No.
And this is this is one of those scenarios in these types of situations where it can get a little weird for undead. Not that they're really like horrible in it. It's just he has to just start moving forward and get into fights. You have to accelerate it.
Yeah, he's got to use his wraiths best he can to keep from, like, it's a high hammer count army that Julian's running, right? It's 2 regiments of Soul Reavers, and 3 hordes of wraiths. It's a 5 hammer army.
It's a big hammer.
It's a big old hammer. But he's got to deliver him. So he's got to, this turn, Marcelo's moved up super aggressively.
Yep.
Both in terms of positioning and in terms of scenario.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the mobility, and there's 0 pressure, so it's just
right. So now Julian has to,
like, sucks to suck, man. But yeah, go get punched in the face. Like, that's what your army's going to do
in a protected way, knowing that you're going to lose all your chaff.
Yeah, just go.
And hopefully none of your hammers. Like, that's his goal, is to get his hammers in range.
Yeah,
and not lose more than one of them.
Yeah, right? And because Marcelo already moved, so this is what we're looking at.
Right
now, Julian's entire army is in threat range of tons of Marcelo's units. So at this point, he's threatening him the rest of the game. And if Julian's not moving up, he's not threatening him. He can just wait. He's already got the tokens. He's already got the game. He can just crush some stuff and get it. So it's just we'll see.
Yep. And we do know that there is a player on. So we do know that Julian is a couple points ahead of Marcelo, and we do know that the top player on table 2 is 1 point below Marcelo and 3 points below Julian.
Yep.
So in addition to picking up 4 tokens and not killing much is a really risky play for the event overall. It's a very safe way to play this game. Yeah. But if the guy on table 2, if Anthony on table 2 just goes ham and wipes Joe Ferry off the table and gets a boatload of points, he can slip by him.
Yeah, so, and I'll tell you guys right now, Anthony Minerva is a dwarf player rolling with, I believe, 3 steel behemoths, which if you know, you know. And he is not there to tie, let me put it that way.
No. Dwarf army is not afraid of loot tokens. No, everybody loves carrying loot.
Right. And then on top of that, you have the throwing dogs into Trident Realms, which can be really nasty. So,
oh God.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's and I believe Ant runs Warsmiths, so he's got elite on all of his shooting. It's this top table game right here. You definitely want to be aggressive, just knowing that.
Yeah. Like you can easily win this battle and lose the war. Which is so weird. Like, the smartest scenario play might just lose you the tournament, right? Yeah, safest way to win this game.
Yep.
Might lose.
Now you gotta get in there because you got somebody right at your heels, which I kind of like, though. That makes it interesting.
Yep. I think they have flipped over to turn 2. I think they're back to Marcelo's turn. Apologies again for folks who were hoping to hear the players talk instead of us. We didn't mic the players this time. We got I have a couple of audio things to sort out so that we can easily flip back and forth between us being able to talk and the players being able to talk. That my first cut at making that work didn't work as well as I wanted it to. So we're gonna go back to the drawing board on that one and have it sorted out in time for Masters. Let's flip around here.
Yeah, so it just kind of looks right now. You can see Marcelo's gone around to the other side of the table, and he's just measuring out all his different angles. It's just gonna. Julian's just got kind of this corner of the board. You know, it's funny. Like this looks like an old fantasy game to me right now.
A little bit,
you know what I mean. Like that used to be fantasy. Didn't have any scenarios. And more often than not, you'd always see the one player bricked up on the other side.
Yep, just castle up and wait. Hope you survive. Yeah, so that's
with your your 2 hills in the deployment zone and the 4 forests in the center.
Right. So so Julian's left a Wraith troop here and Soul Reaver infantry there. This is going to be his zombie regiment, and so it looks like he does basically have these whites kind of boxed off with the revenants here and the zombies here. So no double charges there.
Yep.
And then the support carried in the back. It might be Morgoth, or it might be like a standard bear with the loot or something like that. But you gave an Alpha Strike army a flank.
Yes.
To move up.
So I mean, depending on how far Marcelo stays away, which I believe he's going to measure it out and kind of figure that out,
Yeah.
you can always, of course, turn and then surge. But still, the thing that sucks, vampires can't do that.
Yeah. No. And it's funny. I kind of joked on the matchup cast that like I played Julian at Pilgrimage, and I felt like he took out some stuff and added some stuff that I had, and I took out some stuff and added stuff that he had, which without being vague about it, that means I was like, Soul Reavers are garbage, and I'm tired of playing with them. I'm going to get rid of them and get more whites.
Yep. Meanwhile, he's like, oh my god, these kill
like,
everything.
Soul Reavers are amazing. So he added some Soul Reavers.
That's actually one of my favorite things about when you go to tournaments and stuff and you play people that you don't see all the time.
Right.
I even have that with Alan from Nerdhammer, like just talking to him about Twilightkin since we're both doing that right now. Just his ideas. I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about this at all. And he's just like, yeah. And he's like, oh, you're using this unit? I've never seen anyone do that. I'm like, yeah. So he's coming tomorrow. I'm going to be talking to him.
Yeah, so this is a big problem for Julian.
And I knew this was going to happen pretty much after Julian's turn 1. He was just going to do that. So
yeah.
I mean, he's gonna turn his army kind of in a fan shape because he has to.
Yep.
But Julian needs to move up with everything, get charged in the face and accept it, and then battle out of it. That's all he's got right now.
Yep. So that is a horde of Forsaken, and this is going to be. I'm pretty sure they're going to be Redemption Knights there. For those folks who just jumping in, we are watching Marcelo take his second turn. He is moving a Pegasus that picked up a.
Yeah. Now here's something interesting. Now looking at the Forsaken from where we're our vantage point, everybody that's watching as well, you have that terrain feature right there. So those are wraiths in front of the vampires.
Yeah.
So can't see them, and I get that.
Yep.
But how easy would it be for them who fly to nimble move 7 inches, and then he could do a surge 5 maybe, and just block them. Even if he does 1 wound and they have Strider, they're going to hit on 4s, so they'll hit with 5 and wound on 4s, so they'll do 2 to 3 wounds. You're still dealing with the Knights, obviously.
Yeah.
But that might be one of those things with the Forsaken that might kind of slow them down and start the trade. I wish it was, the Vampires being up there.
But yeah, we're guessing that he measured this and he knows that he's 12.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that the Wraiths are he's out of their front arc.
He's out of front arc on the Wraiths and out of range. Yeah.
Like I said, the Surge, that's just one of those things. And the other cool thing about Undead now is Morgoth got really good. And he can cast 2 spells, so him being able to just get within that 12 inches and just sling a Surge 10 is just like super powerful right now. I've used it a few times in the last few months, and it's really good.
All right, Marcelo, and we see here the other infantry regiment, the other men-at-arms infantry regiment, has picked up a 4 tokens. That is 4 tokens held by Marcelo currently. So we'll take a look at the other side. This Pegasus, of course, picked one up and then walked through the forest.
Yeah, so really just running away with those loot tokens. That was just super strong.
Yep. And
turn 1 right there for him just grabbing them all.
Arms also. Do you lose Pathfinder when you pick up a token?
You do not lose Pathfinder when you pick up the tokens.
Okay.
When picking up tokens, you lose Wild Charge, Nimble, and Fly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's how that Pegasus was able to move 10 inches through the woods.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. And yeah, here we go. Just back on up. We don't really need to engage on this side anymore because we've picked up all the money. And we are currently holding enough money to win the game in turn 2.
So this is where what Mike was saying, where it gets interesting for the actual tournament perspective, though, right? Because now that he's decided to move back, even if he wins the game with 1 loot token versus 2 or 3, whatever Julian picks up, if he doesn't kill anything, Anthony Minerva on table 2, if he wins and he crushes 2,000 points of Joe's army, he could be taking this.
Yeah, and we are playing Bartshroud, for those of you who aren't familiar with it. So it's an additive scoring system. It doesn't matter how many tokens Julian is holding at the end of the game. Marcelo gets a point for every one that he is holding, and he gets the points for winning if he has more than 1. But you do still get points for attrition, and it's not a trade-off. It's not attrition delta. It's how much stuff you kill. So if on turn 2 Anthony tables Joe and loses 80% of his army in the process, it doesn't matter. He still gets as many points.
He still gets his points.
He's incentivized to go for it. And so while Marcelo is playing a very, very cautious and careful scenario here, he needs to make sure to engage before the game is over to pick up some attrition points.
And with my special pretty much input into the local crowd that is here right now, I can tell you guys with certainty, Anthony Minerva is a fucking animal. You would think Dwarves would play defensively. Ant missed that fucking memo, and it was burned in a fire. He'll never see it. Like I said, 3 steel behemoths. He will be running at Joe's Trident Realms like a fucking spider monkey, just shooting him in the face, throwing dogs, and then he'll just start fighting them. Doesn't care. So he will be going. So we'll see. This could just be him trying to secure his tokens and maybe go in after that.
Yeah.
Or just buy himself time where if Julian wants to continue to move forward to the middle of the board, the units over on the flank have a very, very distinct advantage. But I'm very interested to see when Marcelo's turn is over, now that we've seen where he's turned that left side, to see what Julian decides to do with the Soul Reavers. Because right now, they're looking at a unit of Knights no matter what, be it the flying ones or not.
Yep.
And I personally think the weakness of Soul Reavers is they have one of the most average stat lines defensively in the game, which is the defense 5, 15, 17. That's it. They have no ensnare, no special rules that help them. And they can be wavered. I don't know if Julian has waiver mitigation items on his Soul Reaver units.
He does. I think he's got Staying Stone.
That's
Fury.
definitely a plus.
That's what you do.
Yep, that's all you can do. All right, we're going.
Bottom of 2.
Marcelo switching the token over there. Thank you, Marcelo. Yep. So just measuring stuff out. I think anything he can try and get. And don't forget, everybody, those units that you're looking at right there, the troops are wraiths, but the regiments, if I am not mistaken, that is actually zombies.
Yeah, this is a zombie regiment.
So they are not going to be hurtling forward with a bunch of cool wraith attacks and a nerve of 16 with defense 6.
No, he's got. I think he's got 3 troops of wraiths. I think one of them is here screening these Soul Reavers, and the other two are down here screening these White Hordes.
Yeah, so, I mean, I wouldn't even worry about the Exalted character. I'd honestly be flying the Wraiths up right now in front of all the Knights, with maybe trying to block the Revenants a little bit. I mean, I might even give up a white unit to at least get charged by one thing to block for the Soul Reavers, and I just start going, because we are going to start running out of time real quick for him to come back.
Yeah, it's very smart of Marcelo to not pull the trigger in turn 2.
Yeah. Because all that happens with that, honestly, is, you open yourself up for, I did 13 wounds, but I rolled a 3.
Right.
And I didn't break them. Now surge shenanigans start happening.
Right. Yeah. This is, Julian has got some tough questions to answer here. Marcelo has moved up aggressively on one side, moved up enough to keep Julian, to kind of dare Julian to move up, and then backed off.
I think that's the other really bad situation too, right? Is that he moved back with the front, but he has that super strong flanking Forsaken flying unit right there, just looking at his whole army right now.
Yeah, this one looking down the line. There's also this one in the middle that can see over the hill.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
He could move these guys up aggressively, but they'll easily flank them.
And like I said, one of those 2 Knight units, most definitely in between the Forsaken, one of those 2 Knight units is going to be the Brew of Sharpness unit that hits on 2s with Crush 1, Thunder 1. And that is just one of the most devastating things you can get hit with. 20 attacks, hitting on 2s. It's just so brutal. And then even if you hit him back and he doesn't kill you, they don't lose Thunder 2. They have Crush 1, Thunder 1. So they still get the Crush 1 on the second combat. It's brutal.
So this is interesting. This is a double charge with 2 Wraith troops into a Forsaken horde.
I'm surprised that they were even in range to do that.
I'm surprised they were. Like, that's either a mistake on Marcelo's part, or a trap.
Yes. Though what the trap would be, I don't know.
I mean, this guy's obviously looking at a flank here.
Yeah, but that's just hitting it. That's killing a chaff unit to get killed by whites.
Yeah. And this guy, yeah, and here we're checking that angle of like, can I move these whites up enough so that they are not going to get punished by the
That's got to be something he didn't expect or he thought he moved out of, because honestly, at that point, if you're getting charged by 2 units of Wraiths anyway, why not just charge with Forsaken and just get the hits in?
Right.
And then also when they countercharge you, you're just held up.
Yeah. But I mean, two units of Wraiths. You're talking 4s and 4s, 20 attacks on 4s and 4s.
They're not breaking them.
No, it's 5 wounds. It's just then you're not going anywhere. So then, this guy has to clear 1, and this unit has to countercharge the upper one and clear it, and then get ready to.
Maybe that was his goal, is to try and clear both of them. I don't really know, but then your whites are flying out of the terrain, so they're good to go there.
Yeah,
I'm sure one of them has boots.
Probably.
I just I don't really know what the idea is going to be there.
Over there. Yeah, but I mean, if you successfully kill here, you can back up into the woods, and then at least one of them will be hindered when they come in.
Yeah, that's true.
On the charge. I don't know that they'll survive.
We'll see what happens. That was intense.
Don't know how much Marcelo cares, because again, like he's sitting on 2 tokens here, so really he's just trying to protect these tokens, and he's got another 2 tokens up here that he's trying to protect.
Yep. I'm going to go mobile real quick. I'm going to get us some info on Minerva's game, too. I'm actually really interested in this dynamic right now.
Yeah. To see what's going on on table 2. Yeah, good call. That is interesting. That's a question we might have to try to get answered later, whether this was a deliberate action on Marcelo's part or something he missed. Because I guess it's possible that with these units behind, he didn't want to back up anymore, or couldn't back up anymore because they're in the way. And he left it in one of those, well, if you want to take it, I guess you can take it. Let's see what's going on the other side. Making sure we have our units marked and our corners marked. Yep, this is a little tricky. We've got Forsaken Knights staring right down the side of the army. We've got Redemption Knights ready to come in here. We have the only Pegasus not carrying a token here, so if something happens that needs a chaff piece, Marcel can throw that in to hold it up. And then we got more Redemption Knights and more Forsaken Knights here. Also waiting to move in. All right. So more Wraiths have gone in here. That looks like it's probably a charge. So again, kind of interesting that Marcelo moved these Knights up enough to draw the Wraiths out. I wonder if that seems like it's probably intentional to me. I doubt he would have moved up that much unless he just flat out forgot how fast Wraiths move. But even so, Wraiths going into the front of Redemption Knights aren't going to do anything but hold them up for a turn. Soul Reavers, again, can't really get to anything, which is often the way I felt playing Soul Reavers against Alpha Strike lists like Or the Green Lady. You feel like you've got your screen, and eventually you have to repurpose your screen for something, and as soon as you do, now your Soul Reavers are just kind of naked and too slow to reach anything, and you can't really do anything to them. You strangely feel helpless with a unit of killer vampires. It's a really weird feeling.
All right, so we'll see what's going to happen there. Joe, with his Trident Realms, was actually already able to remove a Steel Behemoth off the board with a lucky roll.
Oof. Okay.
And he kind of took a flank. Anthony's response to that was to aggressively charge him and attack him with everything. So we'll see how this goes.
Okay.
Over here, are we into combat, I am assuming?
He is casting some spells. I think we're Bane chanting some stuff.
Oh, yeah, definitely Bane chant stuff.
So let's pop back around here. Yeah, so we got the double Wraith charge here. He did throw these Wraiths into the front of the Redemption Knights.
So he did opt to do that. Okay.
Yep. No surges needed, just straight in charges.
I got to imagine, right? Otherwise, I'm having some type of episode those whites that are just facing forward in the center behind the table can't be within 20 inches of those Forsaken, right?
I mean, I would hope he checked that.
Like, it can't be.
That would be a huge oversight on his part because he's turned.
I
The
don't
Soul
even.
Reaper
I don't even know what my life would be. I'm gonna have an episode if that happens next turn. I swear to God. I don't even.
Let's pop back around and take a look at the die roll. So these are going to be this
Like,
probably
that
race
looks
double
kind
charge.
of close, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does look kind of close. Well,
it looks a little.
He did slide them sideways away, so he at least thought about it. That is a pretty good number of hits, wraiths. But they're looking for 4s here. They only crushed 1. I think maybe one of them got Bane Chanted. That's only 3 wounds on these Forsaken Knights up here.
Well, they're grounded.
They are grounded.
Everybody likes
that
grounded.
That is a 9. That is not going to waver them.
Yeah, we're grounded, so that's neat.
All right, and then probably 10 attacks now for these guys.
Yep.
Just looking to take the Thunderous Charge away.
Did he do all 20 attacks from those guys at once?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, shit.
What was that, 6 wounds?
I think it was 5 or 6 wounds right there.
All right, it's a big roll. Nah, 4.
But grounded. Or no, not grounded. They're not flying.
Started
grounded.
Lost Thunderous at least.
Started grounded, yep. Yeah, no, definitely a plus. I don't really know how much Bane Chant Marcelo rocks in his list. I thought none. So we'll, every bit helps with defense 6.
I can't remember if he's got a loot token.
Yeah. Now, once again, I can't quite see it from here, but if that's the sharpness unit, same thing though. Even needing 5s to wound, that 2 up to hit is just so gnarly.
Just get him with dice.
Dude, he can't flank charge one of those units with that fucking unit of Forsaken. This is ridiculous. I won't. My heart can't handle this. I'm just like waiting. Like, what are we doing now? I think it's his turn right now.
Yeah, we're over to Marcelo's turn 3.
Oh my God.
All right, so top of 3.
Yeah, they didn't change he didn't change it to the 3 yet, so I think he's actually looking at his turn now.
Yeah. I believe they switched the clock already. Okay. I'm expecting this character to go in here, although it looks like he's considering planting that character there, which would block the white's line of sight. But they can still fly over. If they can clear you, they can fly 7 and get surged.
At that point, why not just charge him if he's in the front? Do some wounds.
Put him down on the ground to make sure they're not going anywhere.
Make it so they can't get up there and just fly over him or something like that.
That was a regen roll on those Redemption Knights.
Yep.
Up here. Got tagged by the wraiths. I'm kind of enjoying having a telestrator. I'm kind of
Oh, dude, I can see you're just doing a little. I like it though because it helps clarify. I do enjoy it. What I'm really psyched about that is I'm psyched that Mike has control over it and I don't, right. And I can't do anything because you guys would just see unforgivable things.
Dicks and
just dicks. Everywhere.
Dicks everywhere.
Dicks would be going into every single unit that Marcelo runs right now. So. It's not because of Marcel, it's because OGL, and I hate them. But I'm still just... They're not even on this unit being able to flank charge something yet, and I don't know what to do.
Yep. So for those of you just joining in, they are playing a scenario called Gold Rush, which is basically Let's Play Pillage, but with loot tokens. And there are still several.
He's measuring it. He just measured it. I saw it.
I
don't know what they're saying. I couldn't tell if it was in or not.
All right. We know that Marcelo has a token on a Pegasus here, and on a Men-at-Arms unit there, and on another Pegasus here, and another Men-at-Arms regiment there. So he's already picked up the 4.
He's going strong.
Oh dear.
Yeah, there's the Revenants right there. I think he's got it, man.
I don't know.
On either one of those units, that's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, you can definitely flank the regiment of zombies with them, but
Please don't do that.
you got to know better than that.
So I can only. Yep. In my head, the Soul Reavers can suck it. I would literally measure 20 to whites and revenants. If you can get the whites, get the whites. If not, you go into the revenants and you rip the revenants off the board. With 36 attacks hitting on 3s and wounding on 3s, that's pretty good stuff right there.
If I go here, could they see me? And the answer is no. Those Soul Reavers are these Soul Reavers are in kind of awful position now because they're.
I can't tell if they're within the 12 to reach the knights that the Wraiths are engaged with, in which case it wouldn't be the worst, but they're most definitely going to be hindered when they do.
Yeah, no.
Which sucks.
No. I feel like I would have put a white horde over here and put the Soul Reavers further in.
I would have put the whites on the sides just based on the idea that they can shamble, and or that they are shambling and can be surged.
Yeah.
Just save the vampires in the middle, and whatever breaks through, they get vampires.
Right.
Like, surprise, you got the prize at the bottom of the cereal box. It's death.
Right. Congratulations, you killed a Revenant horde, and for that you get double vampired.
Mm-hmm. And I think that works just fine. So there is a lot of measurements happening here right now.
It is. Burning a lot of clock here in the top 3.
Losing the ability to comprehend what we are doing right here with these bases. I think his idea is go into the whites with the Forsaken unit next to the Pegasus.
Yeah.
And then the other Forsaken unit is trying to go into... Or no, that's just a Knight unit. So I think he's trying to go in with the Knights and then go in with the Forsaken into the zombies, which is even weirder.
Well, if these Redemption Knights can, or these guys, if either of these units can get in and pop these whites, then moving these guys up here makes good sense.
The other thing too is if he's measuring his line of sight that the Soul Reavers can't get to the Forsaken when they pop the zombies, he will still be fine.
Yeah.
Well, no, he won't be fine because then he'll get charged by Revenants.
Yeah, but Revenants aren't the biggest threat. The Revenants would start in the forest. They'll be hindered. They'll be hit on 5s.
Well, what sucks is unless he can move them, turn them, and then surge them.
Sure.
Anything's possible with Morgoth.
True.
We'll see, though. I just now I'm interested to see what this movement phase is turning into because I thought it was very, very obvious, and now it is not.
Yeah, no. We forgot about one. These guys are tall enough to see over this hill because Forsaken Knights are height 4. And if these guys are fast enough to get in, then flip back around the other way. I think you can see it better from this side. Yep.
All right. So now we're going different now.
Yep. Didn't quite cover the corner with the Revenant horde.
Okay. So we're doing that, and he's going in with the Pegasus as well. Unless that's an Exalted guy. Okay, no, that could do it. So if he goes in the flank with the Pegasus, that's 6 attacks. You're going to do, with the Forsaken, unless they have an item, you're going to hit with 12 and wound with 8. And then the Pegasus is going to go in and hit with 4 and wound with, we'll say 2. I'll go low number 2. So that's 10 wounds. Pop them on a 7. This is assuming I don't think they have any wounds on him, and that is a Pegasus and not an Exalted, because I think he only has 1 Exalted in his list. And 3 Pegasus. So, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting move. So where are these Forsaken going, then?
Straight up
going right into
Soul Reavers.
Just going?
Just screw it.
I mean,
see what happens.
If he lucks out on any of these rolls, it's going to be incredible.
Because, I mean, even if he doesn't kill them, then these...
They're probably not going to kill him in one turn either, though.
Right. And these guys
I guess just start the attrition and go.
And then clean up. Because, again, all he's got to do is hold on to these. kill stuff. And he's made a couple of solid moves there.
Yeah, brutal.
Right. Yeah. So what looked like it might have been mistakes, might have just been baiting out the chaff.
Yeah. Yeah, could have just been charge me. Go ahead. Shit.
Oh, you are not. Oh. So dirty. You're going to hit the individual. What? Yeah, that's doable. Yeah.
I don't know why they're doing this turn. That's a flying unit, so he can just hit it, and then as long as he can place, he's good to go.
Yeah. Well, he's not a nimble flying unit, so he does have to make contact with it in a place where he lands and doesn't land on the Soul Reavers or off the table. Because he is right up against the board.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And they're asking for a judge.
They're asking for the rules probably for how you hit that and land.
Yeah.
I think so. I think as long as you can pick up in place and where you end up is not on a unit, I think you're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and so this is the question is there a way he can move up and turn and touch that individual and not be on the Soul Reavers and not be off the table? And there it is.
he can
right
but
there.
I think he can touch that unit and this I think you can touch the unit you're supposed to hit while landing on top of another enemy unit and you just pick up in place. As long as your placement ends not on top of the unit, I think you're good to go. Unless I'm thinking that incorrectly. If I hit somebody
right.
diagonally
Right.
and my corner's on the Soul Reavers, as long as I can pick up in place not on top of them, I'm good.
Right.
Right. So I mean he's gonna hit him. It's just
Right.
the final position right there. I think he might not be able to do it because he might end up falling off the board.
Yeah. Well, except the individual will turn to you. So the angle that you go in has to be the one that you want the individual to turn towards you.
So really all it is he has to just touch him at all.
Touch
with the
any
corner.
part of the individual. Yeah.
Any of them.
Yeah. And be in a spot where when he slides over to his final position, he's not hanging off the table.
Now I don't know what the hell we're doing. This is getting radical.
Yeah. I don't either.
Making it weird.
Unless he's trying to land some. Well, no. Now you're within an inch of them. You can't be doing that.
All right. Well, we're going to wait on this for a second. I'm going to go double check table 2. Get some updates. I'll be right back.
That is the correct spot. Yep. Gil just moved it. That is the correct spot. That character would turn towards you. You would turn to pick him in place. You wouldn't be able to go anywhere because the Soul Reavers would be right there. And your reform options after killing it might suck because you might not be able to turn anyway. Yeah, you might not. So, he's trying to get over there in a way. Yeah, he's trying to get over there in a way that when he kills it and reforms, the Soul Reavers can't see him, which is smart. Smart, but that unit is not nimble. Right? Those Forsaken Knights are not nimble. And now we've started moving the actual unit without marking the corner. That's a problem. Yeah. Is he trying to land so that after he killed him, he could reform the Soul Reavers couldn't see?
Well, he thought he positioned where he couldn't hit him and not be off the board.
Right.
But I said, well, if he goes to least, then where's the position at? Because you only have to turn least.
Yeah.
So we found the least, and I said he would align, shuffle, be fine. If he killed her, though, he was turning. That's why I said even if you're on your center, you still have a line.
Right.
So.
Right, but after you kill him, there's no way to turn and both stay on the table and have the Soul Reavers not be able to see him.
Correct.
Which is what he wants, is to not be seen by the Soul Reavers.
That's why I pulled out Proxy. I was like, now you can spin it directly.
Yeah.
Because when he had it down, there was 2 over on one side.
Yeah.
And that's where we're both like, no, look, it's not even.
It would be a smart play if you could do it, but I don't think I think Julian's models are too close to the edge for it to work.
Correct.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Yep. An excellent idea by Marcelo, but units can't always fit where you want them to. So just in case anybody couldn't quite follow that along, he wanted to take these Forsaken Knights up and pivot and charge this individual, and he wanted to make sure that where he hit it and aligned, right over here.
I'm assuming we ended up not doing that.
After he killed it and rotated, he wanted to be out of line of sight of the Soul Reavers.
That all sounds insane.
Which would be cool if you could do it, but this unit has a big footprint, and when you do that, you either are visible to the Soul Reavers or off the table, one or the other. So instead,
I'm still trying to
moved it up a little bit to threat.
Still trying to wrap my head around. I guess I'm still waiting to see if he's just going to charge the Soul Reavers or he's just going to stay out of their threat range and just fight.
He didn't. He just moved up to stay out of 12 and threatened further into the center of the table.
There you go.
Because these Soul Reavers are now effectively out of the game, right? Like, what are they going to do? They got terrain in front of them.
Oh yeah, no,
so they can't move at the double. These are the tokens that they would want to try to come get, and they're going to be behind this building in another turn. And these knights are going to chew through these wraiths, and then these Soul Reavers are going to be fighting 2-1, or these guys are just going to run towards the middle, ignore the Soul Reavers entirely.
It's interesting. You're definitely just seeing a more reserved play style of Marcelo right now. He's normally pretty reserved when he plays. A lot more contemplating than I see other OGL players play. Not in a bad way, of course. Like he does very good with scenario play. So it's.
Yep.
I'm like ready. I'm so used to watching OGL players just kind of pull the trigger, and it's funny every time he plays. It's like, oh yeah, I guess he's not going to do that. So now, right now, it's just. He's earning those army points now, or he's about to. Yep. I mean, I guess, unless he rolls like shit, but good God, man. Trying to just burn. I mean, it's an odd thing just trying to burn through wraiths in an undead army. They can stick around for way longer than you think they're going to, which is annoying.
Looks like this was a charge, and he put the other peg just in the way to block line of sight of these whites.
I assume he dropped the token?
Yeah. It's on the ground over here.
Okay.
But these men-at-arms can just...
They can pick it up.
Back and pick it up. Because it looks like he double-charged... It looks like he counter-charged the...
Yeah, as long as it's not pushed, they can score as many points as they want.
Right. And so these guys are really just trying to ground these wraiths. These guys are going to try to kill these wraiths.
All right, we're going.
Probably some elite rolls, I'm guessing.
Oh, boy.
Yep. Got to remember to roll regen for all the units that regen.
Regen.
Yeah, it makes it really hard to do the kind of 1-2 punch of I'm going to throw a chaff unit to do a few wounds on you, and then my hammer unit will come a turn later. You just can't pull that off against a unit with regen because they pick up the wounds that you did, or some of the wounds that you did, and the math doesn't quite work. Okay, yeah, these Rezempian Knights at the far end here have picked up these wraiths. The wraiths that were covering the Soul Reavers went in to buy them around. Unfortunately, around where the Soul Reavers couldn't do anything. And this is seriously one of the main reasons why I dropped Soul Reavers, because I kept finding myself in this exact position with them of I'm just a little too far away. I've had to throw my screen, which is faster than me, out to buy me a turn. And then with that turn, I still couldn't get in anything. And now I'm just stuck.
Yep. Yeah, I don't run Soul Reavers in my undead list either. I'm just not about that life. I actually have 2 units of whites and 2 units of trolls are big for me.
Yeah, same.
So that works out pretty well.
Because for some reason, Zombie trolls just don't feel as... I don't feel as bad if zombie trolls are like outranged and are going to die as I do if soul reavers are outranged and are going to die. I don't know why.
Well,
other than the point difference, you know.
The point difference, but yeah, I mean, zombie trolls, they stick around, they can't be wavered. Like, the thing about them that I like is just at the end of the day, they... If you kind of ignore them, they can still hit a flank and just hit on 4s with Crush 2. You're like, I'm fine with this. Like, I can live with that. They're just a beautifully costed unit for what they do. At least in Undead, anyway, I think. So, yeah, just going right through here. So, I wonder if these whites are going to get it. Oh boy.
Ugh.
That looks good.
10.
Oh boy. Wow.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Matt. How you doing?
All right, and then we got Pegasus attacks also. Here we go.
All right.
So I didn't notice if he attacked those whites already. Did he not break them? I see what looks like might be 2 dice behind him.
I think those are from the Green Lady's Cloak of Death.
Ah.
I think we're looking at Green Lady like right here. So she probably Cloak of Death all 4 of these.
Oh, right on.
Right, they were asking about this wall on this counter charge here. They're fine.
Oh, we'll see. A lot of dice. Woo!
A lot of dice. Hitting races is the problem. Wounding them is the problem. So we'll see.
Yep.
If without any Thunderous Charge, he can power through enough wounds to pick them up. They are only dash 12, but when they're defense 6, oh, but I see several tokens there.
Few wounds. Okay.
That's a Snake Eyes, though.
Oh boy. All right, this is getting weirder. This whole game is insane to me right now.
All right, I'm gonna try this Exalted Hero into the whites at the back here.
Oh boy.
I mean, they're on the ground.
Yeah, I mean,
3.
it's something.
Yeah,
It's something.
you
So
can't.
they're gonna beat the shit out of that guy back, though. That's gonna be
They
exciting.
really are.
And he's got the Bane Chant available, even if he wants to go down to 2s for whatever he wants with his combat. So we'll see.
I think that was
So-
his turn.
This is definitely a lot less worse for Julian than I thought it would be by turn 3. Honestly.
Yeah. These
I
whites
really
are
thought
not grounded.
I
But-
really thought he was going to break those whites with the charge in the Pegasus. I'm surprised he didn't.
Yeah.
That's like really bad. And now I'm thinking to myself, like, could he have charged them with that Forsaken unit on the side or charged the Revenants? Because even with the nerve 24, I mean, 36 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Now Julian's got weird options.
Yeah, everything's on the ground, but it's a question of can he draw a line of sight?
Well,
or does he have to move his
the Pegasus didn't charge them. They're still not on the ground, right? The unit second from the top.
That's correct. It's just the Pegasus is height 4 and blocks their line of sight.
Well, even if he can clear the Pegasus for 7 inches in the inch,
right?
it gets weird.
Then he can surge, which is kind of why I was sitting here thinking, like, yeah, what Julian wants is for some of these Wraiths to die so that he's got a place to land and an easy surge. So the Wraiths actually living kind of means these guys don't have much to do.
Well, what's kind of cool about that is now he has a chance to kill the Pegasus and kill the Exalted. Marcelo's stuck trying to kill the Wraiths again. So he's going to get the drop on the Forsaken. And I don't think that infantry unit's going to hold up after the Forsaken go down. And that's, I think, what, 2 tokens over there? Maybe 3? I know he dropped a token. The unit has a token, and there's a token behind the Wraiths. Yeah, I think we got 3 tokens just live, just sitting there.
Is this one of the loot tokens? How'd that get there?
Now, also, the Revenants are freeform right now. The Revenants might be able to literally move up, turn, and get a rear charge on those Forsaken right there. And then the Wraiths, who are most likely grounded, they probably have a flank. I mean, you could do some serious fucking damage to that unit.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a lot of shit going on right now.
Right, because this Forsaken block went into the front there, and these Whites survived, which means what you really want to do is
get the flank
disengage and flank them. Yeah, disengage and declare a fresh charge.
Yeah, just go. And even if he wants to avoid, even if he wanted to avoid the terrain, he could just turn them and then surge them in. So I have no idea what he's doing right now.
Me neither.
Are these guys playing a game that we don't understand?
I think they definitely are.
Like, what is happening right now? Did he just turn those Revenants and then not do anything with them? Is this where we are?
Has Julian forgotten that you don't have to countercharge? You can disengage and fresh charge.
Oh, you know what? You know what he's doing? Maybe he is turning them so they're not in the forest, and he plans a surge to avoid the hindered. Right?
Yeah, maybe. Sure.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. That's what I'm calling. He's a tactical genius.
But he'd be surging, and he'd be surging them into the flank of these guys.
Yeah.
Which is something. That would be 50 attacks on 4s and 5s. If you Bane chant 4s and 4s.
Yeah, yeah. No, that'll be what you need.
And I guess that lets him countercharge the peg with the Whites and kill it easily, and end the turn with the Revenants in between the injured Whites and these Redemption Knights about to come off the hill and murder something. So maybe that's what he's thinking? If so, I guess that'd be pretty smart.
Those Revenants could have 18 wounds on them right now. Whatever. I'm convinced. Yeah, pretty fascinating though how the game's turned out. Like I said, this is not where I thought we would be on the bottom of 3 actually. So that's kind of crazy. If Julian doesn't get railroaded on dice right here, we're pretty much looking at this bottom half of the table. He's going to take over.
Yeah.
Which is not what I would have thought was going to happen at like turn 2 even. That's crazy.
No. Yeah, that's not how that works. Yeah. Counter charge individually. You can't fly over, so you can't flank the other dudes. Oh, Shania. Okay. You got some Soul Reavers out.
Soul Reavers! Just to make sure the Pegasus dies.
Definitely dies.
Gotta make sure. Gotta confirm.
Just begging for snake eyes.
I know. Well, now this is the getting stuck in we were talking about, though, so Julian made it. I don't know, by some weird maneuverability of whatever Marcelo's last turn was. Now we're in this hell.
Yeah.
Still not bad on Marcelo's part. I mean, he's still got 3 units of knights, one being a Forsaken Knight unit, just kind of like lurking over on the other side of the table. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, also, the whites in the back, unless he does some drain life shenanigans, I mean, they're just going to pop with whatever hits them, probably. I imagine they have tons of wounds on them.
Yeah.
But undead do come back to life over time if you leave them alone.
Yep. We're about to see a drain life. Pretty sure we saw a spot background dice. Pretty sure we just saw a Bane chant probably on.
Oof, that's actually pretty neat.
Okay, and there's a surge roll. Right.
So that was to avoid the terrain, I imagine.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
okay,
because
cool.
on 5.
Because I was having like trouble. I was like, what is happening right now?
I'm guessing we were seeing a Bane chant roll possibly on the same Revenants or possibly on some of these Wraiths over here.
Yeah. All he's got to do is ground those Forsaken, and then he's good to go. At least for next turn. Like, he'll be all right. Oh, boy. It's going to get a little dangerous, too, as we go on now, because once those Revenants kill that Forsaken unit, assuming that they do, even if they, like, back up D3 inches, once those whites are clear, you now have those white units just floating around. They don't need to be within line of sight. They can move and surge, so, like, getting stuck in with them is not where you want to be.
And
so we'll see if Marcelo lucks out.
Looks like these whites are still facing this way, which would mean that they countercharge the Forsaken instead of turning to countercharge the Pegasus.
Which is that's a bold move. Yeah. I don't like it, but some people like to just confirm.
Just living dangerously over here.
Yep.
All right. We did a wound. We got a life leech. We grounded some Forsaken Knights. With our Wraiths down here, looks like.
Oh boy. All right, we're going.
All right, 4s. Yeah, 4s. And 4s again.
That looks healthy.
It does.
Oh my god.
Oh, no, looking for 5s.
5.
Okay.
That's nice.
Okay.
Hey, so man,
we didn't get a Bane chant. It is. So we didn't get a Bane chant off on them. That's why. All right, not get a Bane chant on the Revenants, then sending the whites in with them makes sense.
Yes.
All right.
All right, so we'll see what's up there. Woo. All right.
I think we're probably looking at the whites now.
Yep. And just really, I mean, honestly, without even killing those guys, just ground them. That's all you need. Just get a wound, ground them.
I mean,
let the whites and the vampires do the hitting power, and they'll just, just start running through. That looks terrific.
That's the white horde, I believe. And yeah, they're inspired by those two guys.
6.
There's 6. And another 6.
Yep.
So that will pick up these Forsaken, who went in and did not kill a white horde.
Yeah, I don't like how that last turn went down. I don't agree with the targeting choices. That was weird. That was very weird.
Yeah, it's going to be strange for him to. Yeah, no, you're going to keep a Pegasus in your flank, man. That's going to be hard for you to change without rotating those Revenants even more.
And then we'll see if these whites kind of power through. Well, I mean, the Pegasus, that poor thing is about to enter the 7th circle of hell, but it'll be interesting to see if the Exalted goes down. If he can clear both of them, that's a super strong position.
Yeah.
He already grounded the other
here.
Forsaken, right?
These guys? Yeah, I'm pretty sure because these Wraiths had 5 wounds and they life leached 1 back.
Right.
Unless that was a drain life roll, and he hasn't done it yet. But like Wraiths are usually good for powering through a wound on something like 10 attacks with crush 1.
Oh yeah.
And then on 4s, like they'll get the job done.
Good
so
God.
Far, pretty solid turn for Julian. Marcelo is no longer holding enough tokens to just sort of auto win by backing away.
Yeah, no, I think at this point he has what, the 1 token? He has 2 tokens in the back right there.
He's got these 2.
And then I would imagine
still
the
one held by
infantry
these
unit's
guys.
still holding it. Yeah, so we're looking at 3.
Yep.
But now we're doing that free floating thing where units are starting to die, and he can just, he doesn't need to search. He can just start picking stuff up. I just thought it was going to be Marcelo starting to crank wounds out on things. I didn't think it was going to be, Julian getting in there first, kind of.
Yeah, these Wraiths, these whites here not dying to that double charge from the Peg and the Forsaken Knights.
Oh, it's horrible.
Definitely put Marcelo.
But really, dude, if I could have gotten those Forsaken Knights into their flank, killed them, turned for the Revenants to take their counter charge when they surge, they'll be hindered, and the vampires can't see me, I'll take that all day.
Yeah. And I mean, this is probably a 20-inch charge here.
Yeah, and that's my other thing too.
That's
my other thing too is if you want to turn around to deal with the Forsaken, now the Knights on the hill are in your rear. So if you don't kill this Forsaken, you're just dead.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he didn't do that.
Yeah, and these Knights are still here to stare down these Soul Reavers.
Exactly, and then even if he didn't have the range to go for the whites, why not charge the side of the Revenants? Like, he has some drained life, that is true, but statistically he's not going to get enough wounds back. They're going to have 18 wounds on him probably. They're just dead.
Yeah. Oh, shit, did something happen to this Pegasus? He's still there? Did he get, like...
No, I think he killed it with the character.
Did he get...
So he has, just so you guys know, even though it's a ghost, he has a ghoul character running around with 6 attacks.
Oh, that's the ghoul gas.
That hits on 3s with Crush 1.
Oh, shit. Okay.
We just can't tell what anything in Julian's army is.
One of those little rolls that we thought was like a spell was that ghoul gas eating that fucking unicorn for lunch. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so that's what we got. That's a weird one.
Interesting. All right. Well, turn 3 has definitely been eventful.
Yeah, that was a hell of an undead turn. Like I said, I can't say enough how much I just didn't expect the game to go this way. Marcelo's turn kind of confused me with his choices there. I just thought we'd be looking at a very different board state right now.
Yep.
Though it looks like, is the Exalted still alive? It looks like, yep.
Yeah.
So that's not bad. That's a good thing for Marcelo. He can hold off that a little bit. But now those Knights are not in a super great place.
Yeah.
Good God. Now, at the same time, he does have those 3 tokens still. I don't even think Julian's picked up 1 yet.
No.
There are some floating around him, but he'll have to actually go get them. And that could be dangerous. So he still, of course, has 3 more turns to do that. Good God.
Moving down to the top of turn 4. Back over to Marcelo. See which side of the table he's going to start on. Start in the middle. What are we doing here? Going to try to punch that
I think he's going to try and get the whites.
And,
or I think he's trying to see if he can just sneak past them to get those whites on the side.
And possibly hit the character. And if so, are you on a line that overruns?
Yeah, go for the character.
I don't think...
Yep.
Yeah, you hit
I think
the character,
he's trying for it. We'll see.
But I don't think that hitting the character puts you on a line to overrun
now
into the whites. And I'm not sure. I'm guessing these Forsaken Knights are going to be in the front of the
He really
Remnants.
hates that fucking ghoul. Yeah, I mean, he could super just pull the trigger, do a double charge on the Revenants, kill the Revenants.
Right.
And then the Whites, though they can hit one unit, I mean, they have tons of wounds on them. He can start to play through that. Even with the vampires still being there, the other ones right now aren't facing anything. Well, we'll see what happens, but I can't help but think that an opportunity was missed that last OGL turn.
Yeah.
I really believe that. And I mean, we could be looking at a very different scenario, obviously, if those whites did break, but I feel like if he couldn't hit the whites with the Forsaken in the flank, but he could almost definitely hit the Revenants, just get those Revenants off the board. Like, you don't want the Revenants running around at full health the second half of the game in a scenario like this when y'all have no shooting. Like, that's a lot. It's hateful. So we shall see.
We shall see.
Yeah, and I mean, it'll be an interesting thing too. Like right now, it looks pretty good because the wraiths are holding up, but like even the infantry, if they like hit him and do like 5 wounds randomly, like would get lucky, take them out. That's going to start to get weird. So we'll see. Yep. But
looks like he might.
I can't. Man, Julian is in a much stronger position than I thought I'd be in. This is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and it's Kings of War, right? Like everything looks good, and then your opponent gets a turn, and you're like, oh wait,
yeah,
now I'm in a bad spot. It's the back and forth. We love to see it. And at the time, we were like, as Marcelo just baited out all the chaff in a clever way, and now it's like, well, it's a turn later, and he's still fighting that chaff. Maybe that wasn't so clever of him.
Yeah.
But it definitely seemed intentional. Like it seemed weird for him to leave 3 units in range of wraiths.
Oh yeah,
charge unintentionally. That seems unlikely.
But like I said, I don't think his issue came from that. It came from. How you doing, boss?
The whites.
It came from just we didn't do anything here in this combat over here.
Yeah.
Those Forsaken kind of haven't moved since after that, like turn 1 almost. They moved back and forward a little bit, but like
these guys, they've been stuck.
He got that huge flank advantage in the beginning, and then he didn't use it.
What you do? And regenerating something? Probably.
Always good.
Probably regenerating that Exemplar.
Oh, yeah. I am glad the Exemplar held up. That's something he definitely needs on that side.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it would. I mean, I think they're a 13, 15, something around there, so that's up in the air with the Crush 2 and everything they hit on 3s. I think Marcelo will do something good with his Green Lady. He's normally very good with her placement, so I'm excited to see him do something weird with that.
I mean, he's about to hit like 5 or 6 units, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, between him and Dale, I've seen some pretty awesome Green Lady plays in the past few months.
Yeah.
I think she's a really strong piece. I think she's very controversial. Whenever I talk to people, it's normally, yeah, she's really, really good, or people are like, oh, I'd never take her in my list. She's garbage. And you're like, oh, okay.
Right. Yep. And there goes.
There's a man mass. All right, here we go. All right, he's just measuring out the 12, I guess.
Can't go into terrain at the double. You can snuggle up to that terrain.
Yeah.
So that he's hindered when he comes to get you, but you're not going into there, man.
Yep. All right, really quick update. I'm going to go check on that game, too.
Oh,
See
yeah,
where we're at.
on table 2. See where we're at. For folks that joined in the middle here, the sitch is that Anthony Minerva on table 2 is only 1 point behind Marcelo and only 3 points behind Julian. So depending on how this top table game goes, if it's not a big win, then Anthony can potentially slip past them. He's playing Joe Ferry on table 2. I think Joe's like 10 points behind them or something like that. So Joe's probably not going to be able to leapfrog, but Anthony might be able to if he gets a big win there. And if Julian and Marcelo fight to a close scored game here. Again, we are playing Gold Rush, which is like Pillage, only with loot tokens. So there are 7 loot tokens on the table. There's one here that hasn't been picked up yet. They're kind of all over the place. Marcelo's holding 2 with units hiding behind this hill. These guys have one. Another one got dropped over here. And then there's a couple others somewhere around this area that may or may not have been.
And then during the wall, they have 4 Okono fields. I have one weird boy. He has a handful where I get 3 advance rolls. Reroll advances. Sorry. Yes. And with 10 or more models, he gets 3 charge rolls. If I have 10 or more.
He's in a tan suit.
So that's why
I saw him like 3 hours ago, and I haven't seen him since.
Go back to work. Yeah, I'm going to tell him.
What's up?
I don't know where we're going to go.
Yeah. All right, so.
Yeah, because we either have to tidy this stuff up a bit or leave it out for tomorrow.
All right, so on table 2 right now, for anybody that's been following a little bit with that, Anthony Minerva has exploded upon the Trident Realms. And right now he is currently triple teaming a unit of worms with 3 units of dwarves in combat. And I was informed that over the last 3 turns, Ant has healed 18 wounds with Celestial Restoration.
That's rude.
Yeah. So,
rude.
He is winning. So this is where we get interesting with talking about how many points are going to be killed and who can win what with this game, because it would appear Ant kind of fulfilled his prophecy and is now just ripping Trident Realms units off the board. Golix Fury is still alive, so it's going. So I'll be very interested to see if Ant is able to kind of pull back from table 2 and get himself up there into first place, which would be really neat to see. You don't really see it very often with smaller tournaments. You definitely can, and I like that. It's neat. So that Forsaken unit, he moved them up a little bit, but outside of 12, so he's still kind of hanging out with them, huh? It looks like he's starting to try and form a little wall to protect his
protect his tokens.
But we've still got a lot of game left in terms of Julian. He's still got a full 3 turns left. He's got half the game to still play. So, I mean, he's got the time to start chewing through these units. And you got to be careful. I mean, another thing that's really brutal if you're not always paying attention, especially for a unit like Revenants, a Horde, is you start to measure what the surge is. Well, he can move up and turn diagonally, and suddenly his surge distance is cut in half by, takes 3 inches off of it. because he can just hit your corner, even like a little less than your corner, and he just picks up and places in your front. Like it's just is what it is. So they look like they're getting comfortable. See if one of these Wraiths units finally dies.
Yeah.
Freaking brutal. Oh yeah.
Pretty good. Looking for an 8.
See what we get.
Don't think that was the second 8.
That looked like a no.
Yeah. So the
Oh,
infantry stays fighting the Wraiths. And now the Forsaken, who those guys already have 4 wounds on them, they really ought to plow through them at this point and free them up.
One can only hope. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Oh yeah, there we go.
That's a lot of 3s. Oh man.
All right. So if they took wounds last time, we're looking at 5s, right?
Yes. Should be 5s.
Is that it?
And that is plenty of 5s. That looks like 5 5s.
5. Yep.
I'll put him at
So
9.
that brings us
That's
to a
3.
9. So just there we go. 1.
Don't snake it. And
Looks like it. Looks like
that's
a
a
6 and a
7.
1.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
All right.
All right. So
Forsaken are
those
finally
guys
free.
are back in the game.
Just in time to get charged by these Whites.
Yep.
They're going to try to back up to get out of the Whites' charge range. Yes.
Yeah.
Or at least make sure they're hindered when they come in.
Yep.
What we got here? Is there a character punching somebody here? This guy?
Yeah, not killing that Exalted. That really fucks that up. There's the double 1s.
Yeah, there's a double 1, so
Oh boy.
definitely not going to kill him, but a few more wounds.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's not like Marcelo's in a terrible spot. He still has 3 knight units, just looking at 3 of his units that can pull the trigger almost any time.
Yeah, and 3.
Which is that's a pretty strong position to be in, I'd say.
Yeah, and he's still
You
holding
know,
3 tokens.
Like, yeah,
with a
he's still got
4th one
3
that he can
tokens.
pick up anytime.
And
in a couple of spots.
we do look like we're looking at a hindered charge for the Whites, and he's very, very lucky the Exalted is held out.
Yeah.
So he can't do that double charge. I mean, that's wonderful that he was able to clear the Wraiths before he was able to kill that Exalted. That would have been
backed up just
problem.
enough.
Yep.
Backed up just enough to get out of range. Oh,
That's nice.
that is definitely a good thing for Marcelo. That means they don't die.
I'd
this
almost
turn.
be worried that he'd charge the green. Well, actually, I think that's one of Julian's characters right there up front. Actually, the
Here?
Green Lady's over there. Yeah, he's just lurking.
Check out the other side.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if they start doing some peace trade or not. Though Julian does have a pretty big wall in that Revenant unit that he can hide some guys behind.
I don't know why I flipped to this angle. All the action's happening down here on Julian's turn. I should just leave it.
What's unfortunate is even though those Whites probably have tons of wounds on them, if Marcelo doesn't have any damaging spells, he can move those Revenants up, move the Whites behind him. Whatever kills the Revenants gets hit by Whites.
Yeah.
They might die the next turn, but they're going to get to deliver their payload of 18 attacks. So, I don't know, man. It's getting weird. I don't mind it. I don't know what's going to happen.
No, I don't mind it. I really
I don't
know
mind
what's
it.
happening in this game. Felt like in the first couple of turns, looking at it, like, okay, Marcelo has moved
Well,
up.
once
got
he,
a
like
nice
I said,
run.
once he moved that Forsaken unit up, I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then he didn't do anything with it, and I was like, well, now we're dialing back.
Yep. These guys still being
Dialing
alive
back.
right here.
Yep.
Definitely threw a wrench into whatever his plans were.
Yeah,
So
he's
now
still
he's
got the
being a little
points,
shy.
but like I mean, I can't tell right out the gate. I mean, I see the 1 loot token near the Knights.
Yep.
I know there's another loot token floating somewhere around the bottom of the table. Like,
Yeah.
but he can just start picking stuff up. I mean, he's only on his turn 4 right now.
Yeah.
Like, so he has another 2 turns to start picking stuff up. He doesn't care. He's going to have to do something to hold down those Forsaken, though. Those vampires are stuck between that and that Cav unit for now.
Yeah. And other thing about Soul Reavers, why I don't play with them anymore, is they're only height 2. So even if they had line of sight to this infantry unit, they wouldn't be able to see them.
Yeah, they can't even do anything about it.
They're all the same
I mean,
height.
he could technically disengage and move over 3.5 inches if he really wanted to.
Sure.
But, I mean, at that point, whatever. I don't know.
You'd kill, then you'd kill the infantry with Soul Reavers. Then what? You pick up the token with the Soul Reavers, and then you're even slower.
All I can say is thank God he grounded those Wraiths.
Yeah. That's true.
Okay, I think that's Morgoth floating around.
Yeah, I think so.
That's going to get weird. Oh, yeah. It's going to do weird stuff.
Gonna apply some dread. And, okay, we're going to go in with that one. All
okay,
right.
So we're gonna take down the tokens. Yeah, I mean, if he gets the Exalted right here, he still doesn't care. He's still fine.
Yeah.
Because then he's gonna get to punch that unit of Forsaken. So he's just got to figure out what he wants to do with the Revenants and the Vampires, because I think the Knights on the hill in the middle might be within that 16 to hit the Vampires.
Yeah.
If he can cover that, those Vampires are in an incredible position to just kill everything on the bottom of the table. Which Marcelo's running out of units on the bottom of the table.
Yep. Yeah, the problem is these Revenants are only so wide, and they're trying to protect these guys and these guys from 3 different fast threats.
Yeah.
And granted, he's still got the other Vampire unit over here, but like, unless Marcelo really screws up, this unit is basically out of the game and hasn't done anything. It's too far away to hit anything. It's got no screen.
It's going to be interesting. And I mean, the Revenants, they would be more of a threat right now in this situation, except for the fact that, like, for the most part, he can't prevent a double charge, and a double charge will kill them.
Right.
You can kill them with a double charge.
Yeah. Definitely two Redemption Knights regiments, or that.
Yeah. Now, if he wanted to, he could move forward with the Revenants and just be like, screw it, and then he could turn the Vampires, bring them in, and put the Whites behind the Revenants and just say, you can charge and kill the Revenants and one of my units, and then the other 2 are going to go in. But that's a dangerous peace trade. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
I will say, I do enjoy Julian's use of just like characters, like some of the random little fighters and stuff like that, just running in, doing stuff. It's nice. Like you can really score some really surprising wounds with that.
Yep, it's your charge buddy. Don't go anywhere without your charge buddy.
Gotta have your charge buddy. Yep.
He'll do 2 or 3 wounds. He'll make your life better.
On a personal note, I believe one of the most incredible charge buddies in the game is an Ammonite Pharaoh on foot with the elite upgrade and Host Shadow Beast with mummies. Because what do you
at that point, the mummies are his charge buddy, right? Like, he's doing more.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, but I'm just saying, like, do you ignore him and let him keep shadow beasting, or do you hit him? He's defense 6, nerve 16.
I guess
then the mummies aren't dying,
right?
Then they're hitting you with elite, and then he's regenning and coming back to life. It's. I was like, that combo is severe. Slow. It's a slow combo, but it is severe. I think the Ammonite Pharaoh is just such a brutal fucking piece when you combine it with even one mummy unit. You're like, because he gets the elite too.
Yeah. All right. These whites are
feisty.
Just gonna take it in the face from something. It's okay.
Yeah. The height for the Forsaken are going to make things real weird.
Yeah, because you would love to move
Because
those Soul Reavers
they're still covering that part of the field.
Yep. You would love to move those Soul Reavers up, but you can't because the Forsaken Knights can see over the whites.
Your sweet Soul Reavers.
How do they end up there, bro? They don't get to slide sideways. You got to turn and walk. Getting your flank up against the you can do that, but you can't quite. Yeah. Land somewhere so that they can't hit your flank. Hope the ones from the other side can't get to you. Hope that you're in range of the Knights.
Yep.
The Knights can hide behind the hill, so if they back away, you can't see them.
Oh yeah, but that's Marcelo having 2 height 4 units right now is actually pretty rad for this situation.
Yeah.
Is he just keeping those whites in the forest? Are we just kind of lurking?
I think he may have decided that those whites aren't worth saving.
All right. Okay, now he's just fiddling with shit.
Drop a die. I think we maybe dropped a die.
Drop a die, hit the box, hit the camera. I called it. I knew it.
And the camera goes down. Maybe someone should fix that.
Why is this our life? Camera rupture. There's Julian's fucking face.
All right, so we'll be attending to that.
If I do call it turn 1 wall, that would 12. You can make a 10.
All right, we're rolling dice. I'm guessing that's a drain life. At the far end of the table, we'll have a closer look at it once we get the camera sorted. And possibly looking for Morgoth's other spell. We're gonna Bane chant something. Or yeah, that's probably a Bane chant. That's plenty. Don't know if we Bane chanted Wraiths or Whites. That's probably his Loot Bearer's Bane chant on the Revenants.
My brain, I want to do square, rectangle, easily identifiable shape. So I gotta be 1 millimeter within instead of
No, just be obscure. As long as someone is obscured or you are.
Mark's headset microphone is picking up a nearby 40K game a little bit, I think.
Okay. Yep, it can be. Okay.
Oh, goodness. All right.
Like it's also like I like my unit will need.
Yeah, that's about right.
My guys here. You can always take safe. You guys
All right.
I'm shooting you from this direction right now. Unless you have guys on the base, then yes. The guys that are on the base.
That's going to be.
But I mean,
yep. So Deemer on the peg is picked up.
But that's the only difference.
That means now the other Court of Whites is up and at him. And healed back down to 1. Life draining. Life leeching.
Nerds are nothing else if not predictable. Okay, so everybody pardon the camera rupture. We're back. New cameras, get the fuck out of here.
The unit that's against the furthest edge of the court of this, how many wounds did he have on it before? I thought he had 5. He thinks it was only 1. Yes, that's right.
Unless when he did drain life, he healed it. It had 5. Yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering about that as well.
Now they're just moving their units all over the table. Likely story. Merciful God. All right, well, that was exciting. Can't wait to watch this later. And you're like, there it is. There it is again.
And there goes the camera down.
Yep.
Hey, so much shit has happened today. I'm glad we've got it out of the way. So when we go to Masters, it's not like, oh my god, everything went wrong. It's like, no, it all went wrong over the course of the 2 practice tournaments. Like cameras fell over,
I'll get a
Wi-Fi
20-foot.
wouldn't fucking work.
Get a 20-foot cord. We'll get a 20-footer. It'll be
Okay.
fine. Everything's fine.
Good.
Just work it. Okay, then. Well, now that we're figuring this shit out. So where are we at now?
I'm not sure. Julian is rolling attacks possibly for these guys.
All right. I like that. I like his little dice cup.
There's a nerve check. We're checking to see if we're inspired. Checking for inspiring. Yeah, they're probably inspired from that one. Maybe not from the lady. Unless the green lady's very inspired. So. Checking the 6-inch. Probably inspired. Yeah, it's a very high nerve roll. We're going to roll again.
All right, let's see what we got here. I wonder, did you notice, did he happen to Bane chant the Revenants or no?
I thought he did.
He was pretty close, so I was
He
like,
Bane chanted
he's
a
probably
couple
gonna
of
try
things.
to. Yeah, I figured he was Bane chanting something.
And there's the rest of the attacks because they're Revenants and 25 dice. Yep.
All right.
All those hits. And probably didn't get the Bane chant done.
That didn't look like a lot. Oh boy. Oh, is that the little ghoul guy?
Yeah.
His charge buddy?
Yeah. That's probably
All
not
right.
going to be enough.
It didn't seem like a whole lot. We got a 6. Looks like he's good.
I think he's probably good.
All right. And I think Ant ran him down, and just gunned him down like a dog in the street. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dwarves, baby. Woo!
All right, back to the top of 5.
But I like dwarves. It's going to be fun.
The Ant of Hate.
The Ants of Hate. Yeah, I'm excited for the 5 round tomorrow. See where all this goes. It's going to get gnarly. I got my sweet Night Stalkers matchup. That's going to be cool. I can't wait to shoot into an army that has stealth and do nothing.
All right. The Soul Reavers that have been sitting there doing nothing all game are finally going to die, it looks like.
Oh, he's going full on, too. He's like, fuck that.
Clunk. Yep, you can do it. No problem.
Oh, boy. Oh, nice. There you go. Pegasus.
Yeah,
Coming to lock it down. Pegasus might kill that unit.
They might.
That's a goddamn nightmare. Now, going into this, I believe the scoring we were looking at was Marcelo on the lesser scale of the scoring, or was Julian? Julian, I think, had 37.
Julian at 37, and Marcelo, I think, at 35.
35,
and
Ant has 34.
But I think Ant just got a 20.
He did things, yeah. When somebody tells you they Celestial Restoration 18 wounds over 3 turns, that's a different experience.
That's a thing. All right.
That's altering.
So Forsaken Knights come out after the Whites here on the bottom. Whites have 4 wounds. That's not a hindered charge, I don't think. So this might be the end of this White unit here. I am surprised that this infantry unit is still here.
Yeah, they've just kind of been trucking along, but I guess for the most part, the Whites were hindered when they went in, correct? Looked like they kind of were.
Yeah, I think
so.
They the wounds.
I doubt Wraiths were doing tons of wounds to them, and that they still probably have.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have any regen or healing going on.
Just the Green Lady.
As Green Lady
line of sight to him.
Apta does, so who knows?
Yeah, she might have been casting heal. Gonna keep trying to kill those wraiths, huh?
All right, we'll see if he can just pick up a bunch of units this turn. Mr. Kelly has arrived.
Counter charge against the wraiths here.
Oh boy. I mean, the Revenants should hold up for a turn.
Yeah, I mean they should. They are. If he's even counter charged the Revenants instead of
he's going to be able to heal a bunch on the Knights though,
good.
so that's going to suck.
These Knights should slide over if they're fighting the Revenants because they're Ghoulghast here. If he's not counter charging the Ghoulghast.
I think he's doing their regen first.
Yeah. Which is fine. That's what we like seeing. Remember to do your stuff at the appropriate time rather than like in the middle of your turn. Oh shit, let me go back and reroll something.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. That's fine.
Conjurer's Staff? No. No Bane Chant for you.
No Bane Chant for you. All right. He's going to have, I mean, there's a lot of really promising combats for him this turn.
Yeah.
Oh boy. You know, it sucks. Those poor fucking vampires over on the side, all they did this game was like move up once, then kind of sidewind and then just get murdered.
Yep. Yeah. That's exactly why.
You're like, that's what they do.
That's what they do. against the green lady. They hide behind some wraiths and hope that when the wraiths fly off, there's something in range from the charge. And if there isn't, they stand there till they die. That's it.
Yep, that's rough. I'm still sad about those poor zombies that just disintegrated somewhere in like turn 2. It's like, all right, glad they came up to the board. It seems so long ago.
Yep. Takes care of that. We can reform these units, and of course, the back one is taller than the front one, so both of them can do something next turn. Run across the table and kill more vampires who haven't done much of anything. Here in the middle. Is that 16? That might be a little far for 16. Might be very far for 20. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, if we're gonna leave this up overnight, we should tape the cords down.
What's up?
If we're gonna leave this stuff out and stream tomorrow, we should definitely tape the cords down.
Yeah, I mean we can definitely reel the cords back in.
Yeah.
Right now at the very least.
Yeah. If we're
I wanted to get they have like track that you can lay like tape that just goes across the ground.
Yeah.
I ran out of money, so we'll work on that for Masters.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Or we can just tape it. I mean, whatever. I don't like to do that because then it'll get all stuck to the carpet. It'll get all fucked up. But you can buy track for pretty cheap. It's like Velcro, basically. It's not bad. All right. I think Marcelo decided he did want to charge the unit of Revenants, so they're pushed over now.
Or did he kill the Ghoulghast and then overrun it?
All right, or we're getting weirder.
I think he may have countercharged the Ghoulghast, killed it, and then overrun the.
Oh, okay, yeah. So okay, now he's going. We were wondering why he was moving over. I forgot the little gas guy was there, just hanging out like an asshole.
It's over there. You overrun. You hit
what are they trying to determine right now? Well, it hits the front because it's not hitting a corner.
Yeah. And it's not a
don't do it, Marcelo.
Yeah,
don't do it. There you go.
It's not like a surge.
Nope. Even if it was, they're flat.
Yeah, he's not far enough over. Yeah,
just not what it is, you know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was unfortunate. That thing just got its ass beat.
Well.
Oh God.
Oh God, that's the
And
sharpest
then,
one.
yeah, the knights just exploded into life. So that's going to
that's
be
19
threes?
hits.
Or no, that's going to be 4s, right? Because
Yeah,
they took wounds last turn. I
Yeah.
hope.
they did. Yeah,
That's a lot of fucking force. Oh shit.
13.
Oh.
So
They still should
9,
be good. Oh yeah.
and that's
they're
a
good.
1. So yes. But yeah, that's probably 13 wounds. 12 or 13, something like that. Yeah. This is what the Pegasus in the back.
That's 3
trying to punch
hits.
those whites to death. Oh shit!
And 0
All
wounds.
ones.
0
Triple
wounds.
ones. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, but it blocks line of sight because it's height 4.
Doesn't matter. He can still
But
fly.
he can fly over and surge into the flank of one of those.
He's going to fly and surge into one of their flanks.
He's going to move over here. Yeah, and
Oh
kill
my
one
God.
of these units. A unit that ought to be dead.
God.
A unit that should have been dead in turn 3 is going to pick up a fucking
What is life?
board. Oh man.
Oh boy. He's still chopping away at those raids.
Still,
That's terrifying.
this poor men-at-arms.
All right, so
fighting
now
these raids.
this is going to get weird because I think he's going to be able to take down those men-at-arms guys, and we also
And they're holding a token, and there's another one behind him.
we're also looking at. I think those vampires are finally going to get in on those knights.
Maybe if they can see him.
If they can see him, which I think
if the knights aren't
if
50
the knights are on the hill, well,
they got to be 50 on the hill, 50% on the hill.
no, they just have to be touching the hill, right?
Well, no, because the wraiths are on the hill, so the revenants are on the hill, so the revenants are
are on the hill. Yep.
Yeah, the revenants are tall.
I don't think he's half on the hill there.
Oh Jesus! And those guys went down. Yep. Okay, so they work here in one of the tokens. So Marcelo picks it. You don't want to pick up that
that's
token
really
with
good.
those guys. Why do you want to pick up the token with those guys? Well, I guess everything they want to hit is within 10 inches, so I guess that's okay. And Marcelo is kind of running out of units, and he's got to hold on to at least 4 tokens. So,
but he's holding. I mean, he's holding on to 4 tokens right now, I believe. Anyway,
Yeah,
so he's
right,
already
there's-
doing wonderful with that.
2 there, 1 there, 1 there. So that's 4.
I think that
The
infantry
token
regiment
5.
is about to get taken to the 7th circle of hell if he wants to. But at the same time,
Yeah.
I think possibly Julian could also turn those whites around and go for a long surge. Who even knows? Well, he could just kill the infantry block and turn around anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe go there. Yeah, he could definitely try and do that. Well, he's not going to be able to do that because
Nah, he wouldn't be able to move.
Yeah. I just go for the flank. Mike, just go check.
$50%. It's got to be 50%. Yeah. He's trying to see the knights, and they're not on there. Yeah. He's trying to see the knights to be able to charge them, but there's a revenant unit in front of them that is definitely on the hill that completely blocks line of sight. So unless the knights are 50% on, they can't be seen by the people behind the revenants that want to charge them. Yep. So that's the question. Can those Soul Reavers see those knights? Yeah, he can disengage an inch and step sideways.
6 wounds, 5 up save, 5 up info. Always has the benefit of cover. Blown off stealth.
Minus 1 unit. How many wounds? 6. All right. Yeah. All the time.
All right. Well, we're getting weirder. Apparently, they turned their clock off. So that's weird.
They turned it off so that they could measure this. They just need to turn it back on when they're done. They need a judge to make a ruling on that unit.
No, they didn't pause the clock. They turned it off.
Oh.
The clock's off. Clock's blank. So not what they were looking for. We'll see what happens. I don't know. It's always exciting like that. You know, shenanigans.
Yep. And all right. So we're in the bottom of turn 5. I don't think Gil is holding any tokens. I'm sorry, not Gil. Julian is holding any tokens. This unit's holding a token. This unit's holding a token. This unit up here is
I
holding.
think they're holding 2 tokens.
Yeah,
honestly.
because I think the peg that was back there dropped it, and is the one that came down here. All right, we'll flip around from the other side because the peg that was over here holding one of the tokens at the start of the game has dropped it, and they picked it up.
They were playing when the clock was paused before, or they were playing through each other's stuff, so he turned it off because they said they had 20 minutes each, but they paused the clock a lot. But he didn't say anything. I just blocked it, turned it off, and that's what gets me off. So I have to walk up and go, I'm the only one who just saw him turn that clock off. So I said, what happened to the clock? He's like, oh, we were playing when we were supposed to be paused, or we were playing when we weren't paused, like we were going back and forth.
So they just decided to screw the clock, basically.
Correct. So I'm like,
Well, do the round time. What it is.
I said, well, we're at the end of 5, right?
Yeah, the bottom of 5.
So I'm gonna put my own little round clock time on this.
All right,
right.
bottom of 5. Julian has a couple of opportunities here. These whites did not get grounded by that Pegasus last turn. It failed to wound them, so it
Yeah.
has an option to get flank search
I
on one
don't
of these
know
guys.
if they'll be able to get to the Forsaken or if he even wants to at this point.
Don't know. But neither of these units are carrying tokens.
I
So
figured
killing them
he
is
was-
just getting points.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting here, he could definitely try and do what he just did right there, which is my initial
Yeah.
thought was like, hey, do I want to turn around?
Yep, and try to surge in.
But honestly, at that point, you may as well just charge the flank of the infantry, kill them, and then turn and be in the forest.
Yeah.
I think that's your play.
Yep. Checking to see if line of sight can be drawn for either of those units, so he doesn't have to surge. That would be a big deal. And if that Pegasus unit is all the way up on him, he'd have to withdraw the inch and take a -1 to hit. I don't think I would take that trade. I think I would rather move and surge if I could, rather than take the withdraw penalty to get a straight
Oh,
charge.
I'd absolutely just be turning and moving.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. Now the vampires getting into the knights was extreme.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad.
All right, so it looks like we are going to attempt a withdraw and flank charge rather than a flyover and surge.
Yeah. The interesting thing here is also going to be, is he even going to have enough time to get towards any tokens at the end of this? Julian, that is. Like,
Yeah.
I think
that
if
is like-
Marcelo
this
stays
is-
back with his units, he's sitting on 3 loot tokens. I like I said, I do believe he's going to lose that infantry unit. But that puts Julian at maybe 1 or 2 tokens, I think, something like that. Nothing crazy.
Yeah. But we also know that Anthony racked up 20 points. So that means Marcelo
he's
needs
going.
a 19 to tie.
Yes. And we are not at a 19 right now, I do not believe.
We are not looking at a 19. for
Julian
either
is
of these
just
guys.
going. So technically, this might be a perfect storm for Ant because, honestly, Marcelo will probably still win this, but very small.
Yep.
And then Julian doesn't get tons of points off this, so they're kind of both bringing each other down with that.
Yeah, I mean, these Forsaken are holding this token, which means they've only got a 10-inch move, which means they might not be able to get to these guys after they reform without dropping the token, in which case it's just a 1-for-1 token swap instead of a token pickup for Marcelo.
Yep.
And if he has the Wraiths pick it up and just like step sideways to get away and rotate these whites around to face them, might hold them up for a turn. then what do? Do you drop the token to get all the way over there? So you can get surged into? I don't know.
Yep. So he's going in there, as I would as well.
Go.
So yeah, really for the most part, he's doing everything I would probably want to do in that turn. I do understand the withdrawal into the flank charge just because you're afraid with that surge 6. You just roll that one success and don't get it or something like that. You need to search 2 or 3.
Right.
Like, I get that.
Right.
That type of stuff, especially near the end of the game, you're at top table, like that stuff.
Or there
really
might
weigh
not
on
be
you.
quite enough space in here.
Yeah,
fly
it's
over
just,
and land
it's just
your
one of
base
those things. Like, I
Be
get
an inch
that.
away from both kind of thing.
I get that.
Yeah.
That stuff can be really hard in the moment to make those decisions. We got till, like, time-wise, what time is it now?
6:20.
So they got 20 minutes collectively? All right.
That's plenty of time.
Oh, we'll see
That's-
what they can
that's
do.
plenty of time for where they are.
Is it?
Should be. If Julian stops thinking and just rolls his dice and kills 3 units this turn. We'll see.
One could hope. One could hope.
Look it up. Let's see what he's got. Let's flip the camera around so maybe we can see him rolling his dice in his dice box. We got a flank charge. We have a double charge, and we have a flank and double charge.
How did we get here?
How did we get here?
How did we even get here? Oh my goodness.
All right. 4s, no problem.
Okay. Woo!
And then 3s to wound. Are you
Oh
kidding
my
me?
god.
That's a 2. Pick that up. Pretty sure there was a 2
Nope.
in there.
Didn't pick up the 2. There's a 3. Here we go. Yeah.
We're trying to walk forward to a token. Or we're trying to get close enough to... there's like an individual in the way.
All right. Well, there it goes. We're popping off.
Yep.
We'll see what he does with this.
Yep. I'm going to check this reform.
He only has 1 wound that I can see on
Yeah.
the whites, though he should be regenning that off on the life leech.
Yeah.
He can move the wraiths first.
He can move the race first. Well, he needs to decide who's going to pick up that token that they dropped.
Yeah,
At
I'm
this
just
point,
saying,
like, it's a bottom of 5. You can't just leave it on the mat.
I
you
would
know?
probably let the whites pick it up, turn the wraiths first, and then be able to turn the whites how I wish to turn them.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. I guess he's figuring that out. So that'll put him at, if I'm not, am I missing this? He has a token if he takes this one, correct?
I believe he will have 1 token. Because we know there are 2. There are 2 up here. There are 2 right here. There's 1 right there. And there's 1 right
up,
there.
just hanging out.
Right. That's 1, 2.
So you have 1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6.
5. So there's 2 other
That's-
ones floating around, right?
Well, there's
Is this pillage, right?
right. So it's 7. So this is 1. That's 2.
Yeah. All right.
3 and 4.
He already placed that unit hella not how he can because they were touching
5,
each other, so he turned
6.
those like an asshole.
Right. There's 1 that I'm not sure where it is.
That was a really sloppy placement right there. That was insane.
It kind of was. Not sure that's how they could end up. And he didn't
All right.
pick up.
So I think these 2 are just bridging on madness at this point.
It's
been a long day.
Picked up the token. I'm hoping the Wraiths picked up that token and he didn't just leave it there on the bottom of turn 5.
He might. I mean, the hard part is with the Wraiths, if he hits the Wraiths with the Forsaken and then overrun, well, no, because the Surge, he wouldn't want to risk it. Never mind.
Yeah. So this is probably the with the whites that withdrew in the flank of the Redemption Knights.
We still have the 2 tokens that I don't know where the hell they are, so
Well, there's only 1 that we don't know where it is. Because
there's
there's
6
2
tokens.
There's 7 tokens, but there's 2 on this unit.
There's 2 there, and then there's 2 floating, so that's 4, and then 5, and then
There's-
6. Yeah, there's 1 we don't know where it is. Okay.
That one, there's that one, and there's that one. So there's 3 floating.
3 floating and 3 on Marcelo's.
And 2
ship.
there and 1 there. So there's
Yeah,
6.
so
I'm not sure where the other one is.
I wonder if it's still up on the hill.
I don't know.
We'll see. Oh, there we go.
And not snakes.
All right. Well, getting weirder.
Let's pop around and see how I get to position these guys. I mean, the guys behind you fly and can see over you, so they're gonna probably murder your revenants. But I don't know that you care if they murder your revenants at turn 6 because the revenants aren't holding
No.
tokens.
If they're not holding an objective, who gives a shit?
Yeah, at this point.
And I think the vampires are safe because the revenants are height 5 and possibly blocking them.
And
I don't know
blocking
if
their
they
line of
have
sight,
anything on them, so it might not matter.
yeah.
But
And now we're checking to see if we can get to this token next turn. Yep. Let's
oh
walk
yeah,
them.
he's just like, oh, you can do whatever because
Yep.
he could probably get to that with the revenants anyway with Surge.
Right.
But also going back to what we were talking about before with the undead and people not realizing sometimes how slow they are, you have to surge that. They're only going to be able to turn and move 5. It's sad.
Yep. All right, and that brings it to the top of 6. And is that a rear charge? You better drop that token. If you want it, I don't think that's worth it. I don't think it's worth it.
What's he trying to do?
He's trying to figure out if he can rear charge those guys with the rear charge the revenants with the.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't need to.
No, he doesn't need to.
Really, what it comes down to is Julian's in a really great position right now because he's not going to be able to kill the revenants and them, probably.
Right.
And then he can go get that token with whoever's still alive.
Right.
And he could
Right.
try and go for the revenants and the whites with the 2 Forsaken units, but then he loses out on the 2 tokens from the whites and the wraiths that can just move back and pick those up. Also,
Right.
not to mention, I hope he does remember that currently his 1 Forsaken unit has a speed of 5.
Yeah.
So he'd have to drop that token to even try and do that.
Right. Which is the thing, like, why bother measuring this 20?
Yeah, there's no reason even doing that.
Like, he probably doesn't know that table 2 was 1 point away
What's
from
up?
out of 20.
What does that mean? What's wrong with it?
I don't know what's up. It's a busy haul. There's a lot of stuff happening, folks. Sorry.
Hey, he's looking to do it. Does he have 10 inches to do that?
Well, he can't fly.
I know that. I'm aware. That looks like more than 10 inches, correct? He'd have to drop the token?
Yes. But he's got to drop a token. If he drops the token, charges the wraiths, kills them, reforms onto the token behind the wraiths, and picks it back up, he's gotten into a pretty good position and still has the same score, basically. If that's what if he's sussing.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting because literally he didn't pick up the tokens, so Marcelo can't take anything from him.
Right. Marcelo has to kill them and then walk past your
Yeah,
turn.
he's just like, oh, all right, kill them. If he overruns, you're right. He might get lucky and get to one of those, but that's just funny because both of them can still surge.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird. It's going to get weird.
What I would be checking is if this unit charged and killed these guys, are they big enough that when they turned and reformed, they would land
now,
on
here's
that
another interesting thing with a lot of this decision making. It was told to me that the round timer would be ending at 6:40, which is in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So technically, each of them has 5 minutes to do their turn if they were going to play full turns.
All right. So he does drop the token.
Yep. So we're dropping the token, and now we're going.
Top of turn 6. Put the green lady. Why would you put the green lady?
So I think he's gonna. That's what protecting a token, I believe.
Yeah, they can't pick it up without getting rid of the green lady.
Well, that's pretty good. I like that. And then that'll do the cloak of death, and then he's just going. And then the Pegasus is going to come grab the token.
Maybe.
That's good. Forgot about the Pegasus, just sitting there in the wilderness.
Sure.
I don't. The Pegasus won't be able to make it there. Well,
I
oh
don't-
no, it's
I don't-
Pathfinder. It's a Pathfinder.
I think it's going to get there. I don't know if it can move. Well, it can turn twice and go 10. I don't think it can get all the way there. It can't turn twice and go 20. Right. But yeah. Completely under your footprint at where you started. Yeah. And now we're hoping that we can. Yeah, but you can't. This unit of Forsaken cannot overrun after killing the whites and pick up that token because it's wider than the wraiths and it's going to bump
Correct.
the wraiths. So doing
So
this
he's-
move, like,
Well, it doesn't lose him anything in a sense because the Pegasus can just run and pick up the token over there, right? Because it has Pathfinder.
yeah, he's still going to win the game, but it's still a small win when he needs a big win. But I don't think that he knows he needs a big win.
That's true. Yeah.
So,
No, that's
so
fair.
he's
I think
thinking
he's
about
just trying.
eking out a
I think
victory
he's trying to clear units to make sure he gets that 4 points for the attrition.
for the attrition. Sure. Okay, so these guys can kill, and then pivot. Yeah.
Yeah,
These
and they
guys
can
can
grab a
kill,
token
and-
at the end, but he gets a turn 6, so they're still going to get wraithed or whited
Whites.
in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better move those guys back. Jesus.
And this peg is looking this direction, so it's not like it's gonna hit these.
No. He's just going to go for the token. He's just
Yeah,
straight
just gonna fly
for the
and go.
token.
Yep. Yeah.
Straight for the token, and then if he gets a turn 7, he's just going to float away.
Hide. Yeah.
Now, what would be super ridiculous, and I don't think he has range, but if he did, would be at the very end of this if Morgoth just ran up into that forest and just drained life that Pegasus and killed him, just like we
Killed him,
talked about
made
in the
him-
very beginning.
Yep. Made him drop a point. But at this point, like, Julian doesn't have enough points to make this close enough to turn that into for that to turn the game into a draw. So he would just be
No.
taking a point away from Marcelo. Not doing
He's just yeah, I think the Green Lady protecting the token
smart.
really works out for him.
Yep. Because that means he just has to kill 1 unit instead of 2 to keep Julian from picking up points in his turn.
Now he could still surge into the Green Lady next turn, possibly.
Yeah.
And then also, if he wants to not go for the Pegasus, go for the Drain Life and try and kill her ass and then take the tokens anyway. But
Yeah.
that's the joys of Undead, the flexibility.
Yeah. But Wraiths are not going to kill the Green Lady.
Probably not, no.
So this is going to be the Forsaken Horde here.
I imagine
Yeah,
that's
the
the Forsaken Horde
Vikings
going to Pound Town.
Yep. As they should.
I think they've earned that.
Yeah, and that
Their second charge of the game.
yeah, right. And those revenants had 12 wounds on them. They life leeched some, but even I think they have life leech 3, but they had 13 wounds, so they probably still have 10 wounds on them.
Yeah.
Before that, just don't snake them. That's not a snake eyes. So
Yep.
now we turn to hopefully give no flank surge and land on the token to be able to pick it up. Yep. And the vampires
I'd say,
are unfortunately
I was going to
over
say,
here.
I'd say the most underwhelming aspect of this entire game has been the 2 vampire units. Sadly,
Yeah.
they just really couldn't get anywhere to affect the game for the most part. I mean, they helped obviously take out that 1 knight unit, but good God, 230 points per unit plus the items probably on both of them. You're looking at 500 points of your army that really didn't do a whole lot.
No.
That's
no,
a rough
yeah,
time.
Okay. All right, yeah, okay. Marcelo just thought better of it. I was looking at it and I was like, you're turning to get out of their line of sight, but you're giving them an easy flank surge by turning too far.
I guess his only other move with the vampires is turn them and move them 6 and hope for a turn 7.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Or walk forward and hope to get a turn 7 and murder those guys in the front and pick up 2
that's what I'm
tokens.
saying. Just turn and move the 6.
Oh, I got you.
And I don't think he can run past them. And I think I don't think they can back up enough to get out of line of sight if he moves them right. But right now, if we are going off the round timer, if Mike does call it, they are looking at 4 minutes left.
And that's probably okay because Just not going to be much for Julian to do next turn.
Yeah. All right.
Like, he can kill these Forsaken.
What's up? Yes. We'll see what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
I saw Julian asking how you can pick up loot tokens if you can just touch it, or if you have to like be over top. So we'll see what he's thinking.
Well, he can just disengage here, step back, and pick this one up with the whites. He can go into the front here, and if he kills these guys, he can pick up their token.
I'm going to imagine that he might not know about the protecting the token thing, so we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You can't do it because you can't get within an inch of her.
And as predicted, they are asking about that rule right now, as I knew he would not know that.
Yeah, you got to kill her.
He looks very perturbed.
Yep. It was a good play. It was a good play with the Green Lady.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All day. Once again, I'd probably, if I could, try and charge her with Wraiths anyway and just go for the Drain Life 7 on her ass to try and take her down. I don't know what else he really has.
What he has is a couple of minutes.
Yes, yeah, indeed. Indeed.
Whatever he's doing, he should do it quick. Yep, go into there. If that's 12 inches, I don't know that you can turn and get past the building.
He's not going to be able to do the 12, but if he can do 6 inches, that unit can only back up probably 2.5.
Right.
I mean, as long as he can turn enough where he won't break line of sight, that turn 7 he has a chance to do it. But also with running out of time, they may not have a turn 7 anyway.
Yeah, they're going to run out of the round clock. We're going to call it here because we are at the bottom of turn 6. Bottom of turn 6. Marcelo has 4 tokens currently on this unit, and 2 back here. There's 1 token back here floating. There's 1 token right here with the Green Lady squatting on it, so nobody can get it.
Yep. Yeah, that's a power move, man.
Yep. And there's one more token someplace that we're not sure where the hell.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that with the tokens you can put characters on them, and you got to kill the character to actually get the token.
Oh, hold on. These guys have 2 tokens.
Oh,
okay.
Well, there you go.
So there's 2 there.
So he could technically back up with the whites, grab a token, kill that unit, maybe, and get 2 there. And then you have 1 floating. Is that a draw at that point? 1.
That's still a 3.
That's 3 to 3 right there if he does that. But I mean, he'd have to get both. I don't know. I don't know if the whites are taking out the Forsaken in one go. That's a tall order.
I don't know that.
Maybe if he has Bane Chant.
I wouldn't even try this one. I would just disengage and back up and pick it up.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, just like that.
Because they're not even going to have time for a turn 7. Yeah. I doubt they both know that.
No, he's going to call the round clock on.
All right, so the vampires are, if I'm not mistaken, they just turned around. Which I guess doesn't matter in the end. I think we're going for a Bane Chant. Spicy Bane Chant. I think he got it. I think he got the Bane Chant. Which is really good. That's gonna buy him an opportunity right there.
Yep.
That looks like a Drain Life 7. But we'll see. See what we get.
Right,
That
probably
looks
trying
like
to-
wounding on 4s. So we
Trying
got
to
3 wounds.
Drain the guys that are holding 2
There's the
tokens.
drain life. Yep. All right, so that's what he's doing. So we're just leaving that other token alone, which is fine. If I were him with the race, I would have charged the flank of the Forsaken just in case, but that's fine.
Yeah. Unless they have already been told that they're not going to turn 7.
Right, in which case, who cares, I guess. Oh, okay, he's doing something. Oh, so he might surge in anyway.
Yep.
I saw the turnaround. Good. Yep, he's going to go for the 12-inch. Oop. Let's see what we got.
Go ahead
Hit an
and
inch.
See what happens.
An inch will do you. And we're in.
Good
Oh,
grief.
that's the Morgoth. That's the Morgoth surge. Woo!
That's the fucking Hail Mary
The beauty of it all.
10-inch surge. Jesus. But we're not killing the Green Lady. with
No, probably
with the
not.
trooper rates. Unfortunately, not going to happen. All right, here's probably our whites. Came into our Forsaken with 2 tokens here in the middle of the table. Wounded on 3.
Oh, my.
With Brutal. They took a couple of wounds. That's way too many 1s and 2s. That's unfortunately way too many 1s and 2s. Got a Mace of Crushing, so they get 1 back.
Woo!
But 6, 8.
Is that our wounds right there?
Oh, but they got a Bane Chant.
They had a Bane Chant, so they're crushed 3. All right, that is a healthy amount of wounds, and that'll take them. That gives them 2 tokens.
Probably done it.
That is 3 tokens. We are actually looking at a draw right now. We are looking at a fucking draw. Beautiful.
I mean, I would let Julian finish this turn, and then I'd be like, "That's 6 turns."
Let him
guys."
finish his phase,
It's fine.
and that's it. Hey, well, we got a draw game.
I'd probably call it.
Unless he kills her somehow,
Yeah.
which I don't even know if he can, because I think is she a 13,
And
15?
She's pretty high nerve and
Yeah.
decent defense.
Well, they just shook
and
hands, so I think that's
they just shook hands. So that was a big swing.
that's it. That's draw game right there. Damn.
Assuming the whites picked up the token that they backed up onto. And
They
'cause
picked up both the tokens, and
I
the
don't
whites
know why
backed up and picked up the token. Yep.
Okay, so that's
So
3.
we have Pegasus has 1, the infantry have 2, and then we have 1 white unit that has 1 token, and we have 1 other white unit that has 2 tokens.
And then there's 1 somewhere.
Well, there's the floating token that she's
Right.
on top of.
That she's on top
So
of.
they each have 3,
So there's 1,
2, 3 on the infantry,
2, 3,
and then 1, 2,
and then
3,
1, 2,
and then 7 is she's
3.
standing on it.
and then there's the spoiler.
So that's what we got.
So that's going to be a 3-3 draw, which will almost
Wow.
certainly give Anthony the
I
win
think
for the 3-day event.
I think Ant might have just
Or for the
pulled it.
3-game event.
That's
he did.
amazing.
I think he just snuck by him.
The sleeper punch.
Even if it hadn't been a draw, even if it was a 1-point win for one of them, I'm not sure either of those wins would have been big enough to get past.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah, that was gnarly.
Because of Marcelo, like 17-point win would still lose to the 20 that Anthony got.
Yeah, it's brutal. Goddamn. I mean, if Julian pulled like a semi-decent win, he'd still get it because I think he was like 3 or 4
He
points
was
above
3
Ant.
ahead.
But
he
yeah,
was 3
that's
ahead.
he ain't doing it. So yeah, that's what we got. Hell yeah.
All right, folks.
Well, I think the stream went okay. I think the only things that we need to take from this is I need to find a way to build a thing for a 3rd camera and maybe get a light for it and maybe figure out this display stuff,
Yeah, so we can rotate through
which I think
side angles and straight down.
yeah, and I think that comes from the HDMI connections being not clean HDMI, but I'm going to have to research it. We'll figure it out.
All right. And then,
All in all, not bad.
all in all, not bad. And then I'll figure out a way to patch the mic'd.
Yeah, we got to
players
figure out
in.
the mic thing too. So we're still working through, but I think we're getting there.
Yeah,
We're
but
getting
the switch box for changing cameras worked like a charm.
It's clutch.
Even the hotel Wi-Fi behaved well. Of course, if
Yeah.
we run a dedicated
That
connection,
was weird.
we
Uh,
could have cranked up the cameras to like 1080 instead of
Yeah.
720, so we would have had higher resolution. But it was pretty stable. When the player mics worked, when I didn't have anything else plugged in, they worked fine.
Yeah, that seemed like it came through very clear, so I was good with that.
And the telestrator seemed to work pretty
Not
well.
bad at all.
Yeah. So all in all, I'm going to call that a fairly successful test.
Yeah.
Most of the issues was that we started setting up this morning instead of last night because the hall was closed.
Yeah, I did not get a chance to do all of this last night, which everything would have been worked out for this morning, but that's not where we went. I did forget 2 tripods for the cameras, which I had to drive an hour to and from to get, which sucked a little bit, but I got them.
But if we had tried to set up last night, we would have realized that, and you would have just gone and gotten them last night when they were.
I would have just gone back last night because I had plenty of time. I was watching Point Break at like 11 o'clock at night, so
yeah. You know. So I think we're going to call it there, folks. This is going to be a tie game, and
we did the thing.
I think that's going to give Anthony Minerva.
If you guys want to follow any results, I'm sure they'll be posted by Mike Gill on the ACO page on Facebook. You can follow along tomorrow. We got the 5-round tournament, which I don't think we're going to be streaming it. At least we wouldn't be here for commentary. It would be on, and maybe Mike would do some partial, or maybe have like the players mic'd up on table 1. But other than that, probably follow the results on the ACO page as well. If Mike updates it round by round, and just
he shouldn't need to update round by round. He should post the public results spreadsheet, and then folks can just watch the results come in over the course of the weekend.
And what Mike just said.
So just look for that URL. Gil should post it, and if not, somebody
and
will.
what Mike said. So in creep.
All right. So I think that's it. I think we're gonna go ahead and close it out. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks so much for the feedback for folks that watched and let us know when like mics were or weren't on and whatnot, and when cameras had frozen and whatnot.
Yeah, we need that feedback.
Yep. Good to know. It takes a village. So, in that case, thanks so much, Mark, for helping set everything up and hanging out with me all day. And
we're going.
We will see you folks. If not before, then we will see you at Masters.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
Later, y'all.